Welcome back to Boise, Idaho. So glad you could join us. This is the MPC Computers Bowl, pitting WAC against ACC. Boise State on the year, 9-3 on the campaign, 7-1 to win the Western Athletic Conference. Underneath that man, Dan Hawkins, who is coaching his final game ever at Boise State, 53-10 in 5 years on the sideline with the Broncos. Now let's welcome in the third member of our crew. Heather Cox is down on the sidelines. Heather, what's going on?
Well, today matches up a team with incredible bowl success. Boston College owns the nation's longest win streak. They've won 5 consecutive bowl games, but they go up against a Boise State team that has the nation's longest home win streak. They've won 31 consecutive games here at home. Now Boston College knows it enters hostile territory. Over 28,000 of the 30,000 expected today will be clad in orange and black. Now Boise State averages 47 points per game here at home, but Boston College has allowed just 14 offensive touchdowns all season long. So Eric, today it's a battle of the streaks, and something's got to give.
Thank you so much, Heather. Well, Dan Hawkins, as we mentioned, he is off after this game. He will hand over the keys to the offense and the entire program to his offensive coordinator, Chris Peterson. And he has been a real revelation here in Boise. Chris Peterson has done some real interesting things coming out of that coordinator's booth up in the press box.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, you talk about being imaginary in terms of what he can do offensively. He likes to spread you around. He'll shuffle in a lot of different personnel groupings. A lot of different receivers will play in this game. We already talked about 4 running backs who will make their mark on this one, led by Lee Marks, who ran for over 700 yards. So they do it running back by committee, but it's a lot of success offensively for Boise State.
Tom O'Brien will be the counterpart on the sideline for Boston College. Tom O'Brien, one of those guys that's playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. Now in 9 seasons at Boston College, second most amount of wins in school history, and this is their 7th consecutive bowl appearance, and they do very well in bowls. They've won 5 consecutive bowl games, and this time they'll try and get it done with sophomore starting quarterback Matt Ryan, who came into the starting spot just a couple of weeks ago. He began the season as the number 2 guy behind Quentin Porter.
Basically, they wanted a spark offensively, and Matt Ryan has basically provided that for them. They scored, they had just 2 yards more in a win over North Carolina State. And when you compare the yards against North Carolina, University of North Carolina, but they had 14 points in that football game, 30 points against North Carolina State. So he adds the productivity, the spark that they were looking for offensively at BC.
Dan Hawkins and Boise State, they won the toss. They have deferred. They will kick off, and Boston College will start on offense. Boston College, they have played just 2 WAC teams in the history of their program, but never Boise State. Here's Will Blackman, a sensational open field runner. He will get his hands on the football first, presumably. We had rain, we had lots of wind, cold temperatures over the last couple of days, but right now things are clear here in Boise, Idaho. Once again, the ball comes off the tee, so we're 0 for 2 so far in kickoff attempts. Boise State on the year, 9-3, including a 7-1 mark in Western Athletic Conference play. Boston College 8-3, including a 5-3 mark in their first go-around in ACC action. And now we're off. Will Blackman settles underneath it, and he's going to bring it out from 4 yards deep. Blackman with room across the 25, out past the 30. How about that for an energizing play? Will Blackman getting it done.
When you talk about a senior playing in his final game, and he adds the electricity, a guy that moved over from the defensive side of the football.
Offensively, this is how Boston College lines up. They are tremendously large and talented up front. They have 3 all-ACC performers, second-teamers, in Trueblood, Ross, and Beekman up front. Receivers. Blackman, you just saw him. He's the open field threat. Larry Lester is very consistent. And in the backfield, we see a combination of L.B. Whitworth and Andre Callender. Mark Palmer is back after an injury suffered in mid-season. And first carry of the game goes to Whitworth. And Whitworth with a very positive run out close to the 40-yard line, gain of 14 yards. Defensively, Boise State, they are strong in the middle. Their tackles, Browning and Guerrero, they are real difference makers in the run game. Linebackers, Corey Hall, an all-WAC performer. Colt Brooks is an exciting performer as well on the outside. And in the secondary, Austin Smith and Marty Tadman, they will come up and hit you from their safety spots. Orlando Scandrick, he is just 18 years old and starting as a true freshman on the corner. Get it out to Blackman out in the flat, and Blackman scoops out across the 50-yard line, a pickup of 7. So 2 very good offensive plays to begin this game for Boston College.
Yeah, you talk about mixing the run with a pass, and that's what they like to do. Keep you off balance. They're a very, very balanced football team, run and pass ratio, and staying in second down and medium, second down and short is what they want to do at Boston College. Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator.
Second down, all right at midfield. Ryan drops back, wants to throw. Pocket collapse, gets out, uses those good feet, and he's got positive yards. A pickup of almost 10 yards. Call it 9.
Well, you talk about a guy that really competes at the highest level. Look at this protection. The big guys up front. You can sit in there all day long, just collapses it right there. Now you got the ability with Matt Ryan to escape outside. You'll see it here again. Just good coverage, good drops and zone coverage there by Boise State defensively, and Matt Ryan making things happen with his legs.
Fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Delayed handoff goes to Whitworth. Sticks his nose in there and picks up a couple. Gain of 3 for the sophomore from Milton, Massachusetts.
Well, they are big across the front. Those big 5 guys up front for for Boston College. The average size 6'6", 314, the tallest and the heaviest in the ACC. And I'll tell you, they're probably the tallest and heaviest in a whole lot of conferences around the country.
Now, Tom O'Brien's bunch, they will be the largest, most powerful team that Boise State will have to deal with this entire year. Another handoff. Whitworth brought down by his shoestrings. He had a real opening there, but he does pick up 6. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short. Colt Brooks was the man who tripped him up.
Yeah, both guys start, Whitworth and then Callender. They feel like they really have 2 starters at tailback, but look at the tremendous push for LV Whitworth. And in there, it's just hitting the hole and committing to it front side. A lot of success when you get north and south. They got their short yardage specialist in there, Brian Toll, at tailback.
And Toll has the football, and Toll has the 1st down. That's what he does. He's normally one of their starting linebackers, but in short yardage situations, he is nearly unstoppable.
Yeah, he's suffered from a shoulder injury, so he'll be limited defensively, but he's well enough to get in there in short yardage situations. They call it 1st and Toll at on the campus of Boston College, so he is very successful in their short yardage package.
So Matt Ryan in the offense at BC, a fresh set of downs. Maybe a little bit of concern on the face of Dan Hawkins as his defense is getting beaten up early. Ryan with time, throws out and throws high.
Well, that's going to draw a flag. Low personal foul, late hit. The ball was well over Will Blackman's head. And then coming in late, cornerback Orlando Scandrick. And so this one will be, they'll tack some yardage on here. It'll be 1st down for Boston College now inside the red zone.
So the troubles continue for the Broncos of Boise State.
Disregard the flag. There is no foul on the play. 2nd down.
Oh, showed up. You see the little out route here by Will Blackman, and the ball is well over his head. They're just, maybe you call that one, maybe not. I think you let that one go, and
they did.
Bring up 2nd down.
The officiating crew, led by referee Claire Gossman, they are from the Big 12 Conference. So an independent crew coming in and officiating this game between WAC member Boise State and ACC member Boston College. 2nd down and 10. Ryan again to throw with time. Dumps it off. Whitworth has it. And Whitworth falls forward for a pickup of 7.
Boy, deep zone drops by Boise State, and Matt Ryan does a fabulous job seeing coverage. When you see the drops here and then eyes down the field, nobody's open because such deep drops, and then just flipping it out to his tailback, L.B. Whitworth.
Tony Gonzalez has checked into the game for Boston College as a slot receiver. They throw to Lester, and this pass is incomplete. Looking for Lester near the corner pylon. It'll bring up a 4th down situation. Good defense played by Gerald Alexander. So a decision time now for Boston College.
Well, they
it's
struggled.
4th down and 4.
Yeah.
This would be a 41-yard field goal if they attempted it.
They struggled a little bit in the kicking game this season. So down and distance here early in the football game. Not a bad decision by Tom O'Brien going for it. A lot of confidence in his defense as well.
Need to get inside the 20-yard line. Ryan wants to throw, flushed out. Sets up, throws deep, has a man wide open. Touchdown, Gonzalez. How about that for a pitch and catch on 4th down and 4?
Boy, I tell you, Matt Ryan, the young sophomore quarterback, is cool and collected as any we've seen this season. Buying himself some time. Receivers, zone drops by Boise State. Good in coverage, and then there, all of a sudden, peeking wide open is Tony Gonzalez, continuing to work in the scramble drill for his quarterback, Matt Ryan. And boy, he was rewarded in a huge way.
Touchdown number 4 on the year for Gonzalez. Extra point by Ryan Oliger is true. And so on the first possession of the game, Boston College marches down the field and scores a touchdown. And a flag has come down late on the field.
Well, what a way to,
and his crew sorting this one out.
Yeah, what a way to get started if you're Boston College offensively.
Good. Dead ball, personal foul, number 72, kicking team. 15-yard penalty will be administered on the kickoff.
So Tom O'Brien, probably not too pleased with the penalty, but he can't argue with the results of that drive. A 24-yard touchdown pass, Matt Ryan to Tony Gonzalez. Well, so far the Boston College Eagles enjoying their time here in the capital city of Idaho. They marched down the field and scored a touchdown on their opening possession. After the penalty is assessed, the kickoff only goes to the 15-yard line. On the return, here come the Broncos. And they get it out close to the 40-yard line. Boise State offensively, they're explosive. They're the 8th rated offense in the entire country, and it starts up front. Darren College making his 52nd consecutive start. That is a school record. Receivers, we'll see about 8 different receivers, but the starters, Gerard Rabb leads the team in receptions. Bryson James is a big play threat. Derek Schumann is a tight end that they use a lot in the passing game. And Jared Zabransky, he's had a roller coaster type season. He will have 4 different running backs at his disposal. He'll start with all-WAC second-teamer Lee Marks in the backfield behind him as the sole setback. Man in motion is Gerard Rabb, and they give to Marks. Marks with the carry. Lowers the head, gets across midfield. A heck of a way to start the game for Boise State offensively. A pickup of 13 yards. Vinny Peretta, a nice block out on the edge. Defensively, Boston College, you talk so much about Kiwanuka, but he gets help on the inside. B.J. Raji and Alvin Washington, they both are great at stuffing the run inside. Jolon Dunbar starts ahead of Brian Cole, who's got a bit of a shoulder, but we will see him at some point. And in the defensive backfield, Jasmine Williams, DeJuan Tribble are the corners. Jamie Silva, though, leads the team in tackles from his safety spot. Ian Johnson in the game as the tailback, but they throw for the first time, and the pass is complete to Legadu Nene.
Well, you won't see any backup in this Boise State offense or this football team. They were scored on first, but good mix so far of run and pass. Just a nice little hitch route, sit it down outside about 6 yards, reading the inside guy, number 55, Ricky Brown. He stays inside, shoot it out there quickly to your wide receiver. And boy, being in second down and short gives you a lot of different things you can go to.
This drive very similar to the opening drive by Boston College just a moment ago. Inside handoff. Marks has it. And Marks refusing to go down until he crosses the 35-yard line. And a pickup of 7 yards.
Well, you talk about college making his 52nd start. But Miller, Tad Miller, Jeff Cavender, Woodruff, and Claddy up front. You see the big holes, pulling guys around, sealing off outside. And boy, I'll tell you what, the little guy, Lee Marks, not big, 5'7", 181 pounds, known for his ability to get outside there, running between the tackles.
Ian Johnson behind Zabransky. They fake to him. Zabransky wants to throw. Has him in, but he doesn't throw it far enough. It is picked off. Coming back the other way. Interception made by Jamie Silva.
Yeah, he was trying to go to his tight end, Derek Schumann, and he got tremendous pressure in his face. Play action pass when you're running the football well. And Ricky Brown in the face of Jared Zabransky forces him to throw this a little bit early. Wasn't able to step into the throw and get enough on it. The end results in interception, but boy, the pressure by Ricky Brown made that play for Boston College.
It's actually Ryan Glasper with the interception, and Glasper returns it 12 yards. So a promising start offensively for Boise State goes by the wayside, and the Eagles have the ball back on the 31-yard line. Matt Ryan under duress goes down deep in his own backfield. Sack is made by the big fella. Defensive tackle coming in and making the play.
Alex Guerrero, big number 99, finally he gets in, pressure from the inside, and that's between the big, massive part of that offensive line. You see him here working in the center of your screen, continuing, then right around the outside, he's going to come free to Matt Ryan. Boy, that is determination right there, working against a guy that's a lot larger than you, but continuing to pursue to the quarterback, gets you a sack like that there from Alex Guerrero.
Loss of 8 yards on the play. First carry of the game for Andre Callender is a good one. He picks up what they lost and then some as he scoots across the 35-yard line, a gain of 13 yards before he's finally tripped up by Marty Tadman.
Boy, he gets a big, big hole right in the center of the formation, right there, the underneath handoff, and then he's going to see it right back to the outside. And north and south is what they expect from Andre Callender. They rotate him in there. Whitworth, we saw early in the football game. Now Callender, they feel like they have 2 starters at tailback at Boston College.
Third down at 4. Need to get to the 41-yard line to keep this drive alive. And they will. Pass is complete, cutting across the middle and making the catch, Jason Lilly. And Lilly has a first down and a pickup of 5 yards.
Well, that's what happens when defenses start to drop deep in zone coverage. You can run those delayed little drag routes across the field. And Jason Lilly times it up just right with Matt Ryan. You're going to see it here. He's going to drag underneath. And right there, the deep drops by Boise State. Matt Ryan right on time with the football in the soft spot of the coverage. Allows for his receiver to turn upfield and pick up the first down.
Gives to Callender, and Callender barrels forward, crosses the 45 out to about the 47-yard line and pick up about 5 yards.
Well, it just seems like defensively that Boise State going to sit in a lot of zone coverage, and Matt Ryan's going to be asked this football game to be very patient. You're going to have to hit some checkdowns, hit the underneath routes to move this team in the passing game until you can get them out of those deep drops, bring them up in some man coverage. Then you'll have some opportunities over the top.
Looking for Larry Lester. The pass is knocked down. Good defensive play made to stop what would have been a big gain. Corey Hall is the man who got his hand up and knocked the pass down.
Yeah, there. I thought that's the first pass of this ball game. Tried to force one into Larry Lester. You'll see it here. Nice play action fake with the football. Right there, just forcing one in. Pause it right there. You see about 3 different guys for Boise State around the football. That's a bad decision on the young quarterback's part. They just talked about the patience he must display throughout this ball game, playing against a lot of zone coverage.
Here comes the blitz on 3rd down, and Ryan has his pass knocked away. And a flag comes down. Orlando Scandrick came off the edge like his hair was on fire and got to Ryan quickly.
Yeah, they come with a corner blitz. And, I mean, he was coming, and when you have your back to the defense, you got to know there's a clock in the back of your mind. I've held it a little bit too long. Somebody's going to come free sooner or later. And, boy, they're going to pick up a penalty here for intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Spot foul. Boston down. 4th down.
Right there, we talked about all the zone coverage that Dan Hawkins and his defense is playing. But right here, you're going to see right off the edge, Orlando Scandrick coming full speed on a corner blitz. Finally, they dial it up, trying to confuse Matt Ryan a little bit, make him think we're going to play and sit in zone coverage, bring a little pressure off the corner from the short side of the field, and they get there.
Kind of hard to tell whether or not Matt Ryan was just trying to throw it away. As he was trying to throw it, he
got to get outside that tackle box, or at least get the football back to the line of scrimmage.
Johnny Ayers comes on to punt for the first time in this game for Boston College. Dangerous man awaits it. Quentin Jones, second in the country in returns. He has the football, and Jones with room. Jones finally slides down, but not before a very good return out to the 47-yard line. A return of 16 yards. So Jared Zabransky will bring that Boise State Bronco offense back on the field to take on Matthias Kiwanuka and BC. There's some salmon in their waters. That's the Boise River, just about, I don't know, 200 yards away from Bronco Stadium. This is an absolutely gorgeous corner of the earth.
Saw a little fly fishing going on over there as we came into the stadium yesterday.
And Boise State will start on offense for the second time in the game. Jared Zabransky had his pass intercepted by Ryan Glasper to end the last drive. They were moving before the pick. Zabransky wants to throw. Flag flies before the ball is snapped. Jared Zabransky now in his second season as the starting quarterback. Junior out of Hermiston, Oregon. Grew up on a potato farm out there.
Both start. Offense, number 4, 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Zabransky working hand in hand with Dan Hawkins and, of course, the offensive coordinator, Chris Peterson, over the last couple of years.
Really an up and down year for Zabransky. I mean, he got off to that rough start, 6 turnovers against Georgia. And Chris Peterson, they have really stuck with him his 5th season as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach here. He'll be the head coach next year here at Boise State. So it makes for an easy transition offensively for this program.
Penalty puts him back 5 yards. First down at 15. Movement on the line. No whistle, no flag. On the carry, Lee Marks picks up about what they lost. Pick up about 4 yards. For more on Chris Peterson, let's go down on the field and Heather Cox. Heather?
Eric, Coach Peterson told me his psychology degree has come to good use this season. He's worked diligently with Jared Zabransky after that auspicious season that Andre just talked about, that debut against Georgia. Now, Coach Pete told Zabransky he was making the game way too important, trying to do too much and putting too much pressure on himself. And Coach Peterson said throughout this learning process, Jared has matured and learned to rely on his teammates more and not feel solely responsible. Well, today already an interception in that first series. We'll see how much Coach Pete's therapy has helped him in this game.
Thank you, Heather. Obviously, the mental part of the game is so important as a quarterback. Pass dumped off. Jeff Carpenter, his first catch of the game, coming out of the backfield. Crosses the 50, pickup of 8. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4.
Boy, he's had a lot of wins on the blue turf here at Boise State. 60% passer for his career, 34 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. He'd like to cut that down, way down next season, but boy, he is a fierce competitor this year. 17 touchdown passes on the season to go along with now 15 interceptions. So you start cutting that at the back end of that off in interceptions, you make for a lot more success as a quarterback.
3rd down at 4. Zabransky flushed out of the pocket. He's got fantastic feet. Makes one man miss. And maybe a little bit too cute. I think he had the first down, Andre, and then he gave it up.
Yeah,
he's going to be short.
He's basically got to be aware of where the down and distance mark is. As a quarterback, you know where on the field you got to get to. You see Matthias Kiwanuka working upfield in the pass rush. He feels it. Zabransky steps up in the pocket, which is exactly what you want to do. That's a matchup we really need to keep our eyes on. Darren College and Kiwanuka working one-on-one. 2 very good, experienced football players. But there, Zabransky had the first down through one move too many, and it came up about half a yard short. which Dan Hawkins has elected to go for.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Dan Hawkins, he's a riverboat gambler. He's going to go for this every single time.
You know, when you talk about Dan Hawkins, he doesn't show up in a stadium hoping to win. He's going to empty everything in the bag on the field, and in terms of trying to pull out a win. He doesn't play not to lose. He plays to win football games.
They're going to review this spot. This is actually the first time that instant replay has been used here at Broncos Stadium. Boise State, normally the home team here, they are a member of the WAC, and the WAC does not have instant replay, but in every bowl game this year, there is replay. So we're going to make sure that spot is accurate.
Well, you're going to see him here, north and south, and if he keeps going this way as opposed to east and west, he's going to pick up the first down, but he comes back even about another yard, 2 yards after having picked up the first down. Boy, you see the drop here, just as you're supposed to do, step up and outside in the pocket. There's the first down marker. He was across and then came backwards 2 yards.
So this play is under review. Indisputable video evidence needs to confirm that the call was incorrect, that the spot was incorrect. And so communication being made with the technical advisor up here in the press box.
In 1 of 2 conferences, the WAC, along with the Sun Belt Conference, did not use replay this season. Next season in 06, the WAC will adopt the instant replay system. So they're not used to this season yet, but they may as well go ahead and get a taste of it for next year.
The technical advisor and the replay crew are also members of the Big 12 Conference, coming out here to officiate this MPC Computers Bowl.
Well, you're going to see it here, the rush by Kiwanuka. You'll see Zabransky step up and outside, and then we'll show you right here, if you pause it, right there. He's got the first down and then comes backwards. He was right across the first down marker and then came back 2 yards.
He wasn't knocked back.
No, he actually trying to make a guy miss. He came backwards.
After review, the football is spotted at the 43-yard line. We will have a measurement.
So, good call by Dan Hawkins or the officials, and then they review it. They may wind up with a first down here. I'll tell you, it is awfully close since they the respot.
So the chains come across the field. It's either going to be 4th and inches or a first down for Boise State offensively.
And we got it. That's why we have the instant replay, so we get it right.
So Dan Hawkins, I'm sure he would have went for it on 4th and inches. Doesn't have to make that decision. Fresh set of downs for Jared Zabransky and the Bronco offense. If you ask me, Zabransky may have gotten away with one right there. So first down and 10, ball on the 43-yard line. Couple of tight ends in the game now for Boise State. Lee Marks is the deep back behind Zabransky. And Marks has it, tries to the right side. He's stretched out, makes a nice forceful cut, and gets across the 40-yard line for a pickup of 4. Well, tonight, ESPN's bowl doubleheader continues when the Michigan Wolverines take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers in the MasterCard Alamo Bowl. That's at 8 Eastern Time. The MasterCard Alamo Bowl is part of Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN. This is only the 4th time that these two tradition-rich programs will ever meet on the gridiron.
Yeah, a lot of tradition between those two, Nebraska and Michigan. That'll be an outstanding football game.
Little trickery, end around. Nothing doing. Trying to get the ball on the perimeter, and they lose 4 yards. 4-yard loss, good defensive play by Ricky Brown.
We're just trying to capitalize on the speed of Quentin Jones. He's the fastest player in Boise State to come through the program. He's clocked at 4.3 in the 40 and trying to find a way to get him on the edge. We talked a lot about him in terms of punt returns, averages over 20 yards a punt. Named second-team All-American and some post, I think it was College Football News that named him second-team All-American.
3rd down and 12. Kiwanuka pressuring Zabransky. Zabransky gets it off, and it is complete along the sideline, close to first down yards. It's going to depend on the spot. Nice pitch and catch under duress. Kiwanuka breathing hard down Zabransky's neck, but Vinny Peretta able to make the catch along the sideline.
A lot of pressure here by Kiwanuka. You see him spin inside, is going to have to chase from inside out. And Zabransky, look at this throw. Athletic ability, throwing on the run, and he throws a strike to his receiver and almost picks up the first down here, just a couple yards short. But watch the throw. Watch it come off of his hand with a lot of velocity, accuracy, right along the sideline. Fantastic throw and catch.
4th down and 1, and the Broncos are going to go for it. Giving it to the power back, and Antoine Carter is stoned. He's not going to get there, and the ball is going to change hands.
Well, he's their second leading rusher. Antoine Carter at 435 yards and known as their short yardage specialist, but Boston College not going to have it.
So, Boise State, 2 trips into BC territory, and they're denied on both times. Welcome back to Broncos Stadium here in Treasure Valley, this neck of the woods here in the gem state of Idaho called Treasure Valley. A lot of natural gems, a lot of different things to be mined and explored here in Boise, Idaho. And one of the finer things has been Boise State football over the last 10 years. They have had a real good thing going, but right now they trail Boston College 7-0. The Eagles scored on their first drive of the game. L.B. Whitworth, another carry for the sophomore. Lowers his head, picks up 2 yards.
Well, there, Boise State getting stout in the run game, run defense, and they're going to have to do that because that big offensive line of Boston College going to want to assert themselves as this game progresses. That's when they usually wear opponents down, is late in the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, when they can just really lean on you with those big bodies up front.
Three receivers in the game for Boston College on 2nd down and 8. Another delayed handoff. Whitworth, tough sledding inside. There's some big boys in the middle of that defense at Boise State, and they snuffed that one out. Andrew Browning, Alex Guerrero combining to stop Whitworth for no gain.
Yeah, Alex Guerrero outsized in the middle, just 6'1", 293 pounds, and everyone well over 300 pounds up front for BC, but they're just fighting inside, and you see him there, just relentless, strong at the point of attack. He's built low to the ground, a lot of lower body strength, so he can get under those big guys for BC. Boy, leverage, game of leverage in the trenches for those big defense and offensive linemen.
3rd down and 10. The Eagles need to get out past the 45-yard line. Ryan, with time, throws a bullet. Caught, complete, and another first down for the Eagles. Heck of a catch made by Larry Lester. He had a man draped on his back.
Yeah, it looked like number 20, Marty Tadman, in coverage, but you see the eyes of the young quarterback, Matt Ryan, right here, stepping up in the pocket, felt just a little bit, but throwing with conviction right there. Stepping into the throw, committing to the throw right there, not really throwing it unsure. I know where I'm going with the football. Let me get it there in a hurry, and he can put some zip on it.
That's what they say about Matt Ryan. He throws with conviction, makes decisions, and follows through. Whitworth, pickup of a couple, crosses midfield. Call it a gain of 4.
Right, he has been fabulous in his starts. He's 4-0 as a starter this year, 4-1 going back to last year. He had 1 start against Syracuse, but off to a good start in this ball game. And I'll tell you, I've been impressed with him. Not a whole lot of ball games under his belt, but he makes good, sound decisions in the games that we've watched him play in this year.
Took over as the starting quarterback on a full-time basis against NC State. Second to last regular season game for BC. Is the catch made on the sideline? Yes, it is.
Oh, what a
pick up just a couple of yards by the fullback. That's Mark Palmer.
Boy, good job with the feet on the sideline. Matt Ryan getting a little bit of pressure, and then right there, keeping the eyes down the field so you can make a play. Then it's the big tight end, Jared Hunter, who makes the catch.
So 3rd down and 5. The Eagles trying to keep this drive alive. Ryan with time. Wants to run for it. And he's not going to get there. Ball's loose. And BC recovers, and I think they're going to have enough for a first down. The big fella, Jeremy Trueblood, caught the loose ball and fell forward.
Boy, he got tremendous pressure from Mike T. Williams, the defensive end from Boise State. And boy, they make Matt Ryan pay the price, trying to elevate and get to the first down marker. You'll see here Mike T. Williams coming inside and stepping around, and Matt Ryan and trying to get to the first down marker, going to elevate. Boy, what a big, big shot. You talk about a guy playing one heck of a football game is Alex Guerrero. He is holding his own inside, and they're making Matt Ryan spit the football up. But nonetheless, a first down for Boston College.
How about that? Tom O'Brien's team. They catch a break. Ryan fumbles. It was bobbled by Josh Beekman. Jeremy Trueblood picks it up and gets the first down. L.V. Whitworth brought down by Corey Hall, but not before he picks up 5 yards.
You see that right there is where Boston College wants to live. Second down, medium, second down and short. They can go play action pass. If they choose, they can stay with the run, take a shot down the field. But a lot of options when you keep yourself in second down and medium and get those big offensive linemen leaning on you, or it makes it tough defensively.
Clock ticking down, nearing the end of the first quarter of play. And that's going to do it for the first 15 minutes of this 2005 MPC Computers Bowl. Matt Ryan and the BC Eagles on top of Dan Hawkins and the Boise State Broncos. 7-0 is our score. The game's only touchdown, a Ryan to Lester touchdown. A little bit of snow up in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, but down here on the blue turf of Broncos Stadium, all is clear. We're here in Treasure Valley, as they like to call this area. Boise, Idaho. This is the 9th running of the MPC Computers Bowl. And so far, so good for the Boston College Eagles. They have a 7-0 lead through 15 minutes of play. Second down and 4. And the give goes to Whitworth. Whitworth gets to the 35, but not much more. It'll bring up a third down and short. Let's go down to the field, and Heather Cox has more on the duds from Boston College.
Indeed, Boston College coach Tom O'Brien looking for every way to motivate this ball club. Well, he's done it with the uniforms. Boston College Eagles wearing all red for the first time since 1995. The reason? To add a little extra spark, a little extra energy, especially to the senior class that's trying to make history here today.
Yeah, senior class had an opportunity to go 35-15 since arriving on campus here. So a little extra motivation.
And they give to Brian Toll, and the linebacker gets the first down. That is what they bring him in to do, and once again, no problem.
First down and Toll. That's nice. Big fella just checks himself in, and I tell you, they get him going north and south in a hurry. You see Brian Toll take one step, and there's the hole right there along the right side of that offensive line. It's those shoulder pads over his feet, good body lean, getting into the line of scrimmage, and then tremendous push up front from the big guys.
So Brian Toll now 2 for 2 in short yardage situations. Ryan wants to throw, wants a bunch, goes deep, pass incomplete, intended for his tight end, Chris Miller. Big fella running down the right side as the passes sail over his head.
Yeah, try to get him on a corner route, and anytime you're running the football as well as Boston College is, you're going to have opportunities for play action pass. Hold the linebackers with the play fake, and then you get the tight end running behind the linebackers into the secondary, and there he had a step, Chris Miller. It just overshoots him a little bit.
3 receivers in the game. Tony Gonzalez goes in motion. Whitworth stopped after a short gain and a flag fly.
Yeah, usually in the area of holding, and I'll tell you what, Boise State bending a little bit on this drive, but they're not breaking.
Dan Hawkins wants a hold.
That's usually where that flag is thrown. We'll get the official word.
Holding defense, number 57. 10 yards from the end of the run. Will be a first down.
Well,
That's
usually
not the holding that Dan Hawkins wanted.
No, usually when you run stunts in the middle of a formation, a guy will grab to allow for another guy to come around it. And right there, you see Working in the middle of the formation, number 57, Andrew Browning. Boy, that was tough because they really weren't stunning. Well, usually you have a guy and you're trying to bring a defensive end around and inside, holding the guard to allow him to come free up the middle of the formation is where you get it. There, boy, it looks like he's fighting for his own life.
So the Eagles will take it. Ball moves inside the 20-yard line. Whitworth with the carry, but the play stops as the flag flies. And this one's going to go against Boston College. It's going to be movement on the line. It's going to set him back 5 yards.
False start. Number 88, offense, 5 yards, first down.
Tight end Chris Miller. Well, Boston College, they have done fantastic work in their bowl games. They've won 5 consecutive bowl games. That's the longest current streak in the country. Is there a rhyme or reason for that success?
Well, you know, it's just a guy like Tom O'Brien, the head coach, preparing each and every season. And then once you win a couple of them or you go to a few bowl games, you know how to prepare. And his teams always prepare through the regular season, just as prepared when they show up to play in bowl games.
Ryan flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, complete to Lester, who goes out of bounds.
An excellent job on the part of Larry Lester working back for his quarterback, Matt Ryan. When he gets in trouble, scramble drill, everything breaks down. Now it's just kind of freelance football, and you're finding an open area once the quarterback starts to scramble. If you're along the sideline, you want to work back towards him. If you're on one side of the formation, you got to cross across the entire field to try to come open in front of the quarterback. And there, Larry Lester just finding a hole along the sideline. Wasn't much yardage, but still a good job of picking up what he could.
And officially a gain of, well, a non-gain. They say he was out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. So give him a catch, but no gain.
Good for a completion, though. Get on the stat sheet.
Quarterback's best friend. Ryan goes deep to the tight end, and Miller has it batted away. Miller was open, had his hand on the football, and then has it knocked away. Colt Brooks defensively from his linebacker spot able to make the play.
Well, I tell you, he waited till the final moment to just get a paw up and get a hand on the football because it was lobbed in there nice and pretty. You'll see Colt Brooks right there at the highest point going up, defending against the tight end Chris Miller. Just a vertical route down the field, trying to play the safety with your eyes. And Colt Brooks, the linebacker, asked to go one-on-one in coverage, and he wins there against the tight end.
13 plays, but just 42 yards on this drive for BC. And they try and run 4. Give goes to Callender, and Callender gets inside the 15, but he'll be well short of the first down. Kind of an interesting call, Andre.
Yeah, just trying to pop one, catch Boise State in a defense where they're trying to run with receivers. I tell you, he got a heck of a block from number 75, Josh Beekman, who was pulling around to help out. And boy, he just got matched up on a little defensive back and slammed him about 5 yards down the field. Almost came out of there for a first down.
A gain of 11 sets up a 4th down and 4. Ryan Oliger will come on and attempt a 20-yard field goal. And it is good. 30-yard field goal, no problem for Oliger, and that puts BC on top 10-0. Tom O'Brien has to be pleased. A large percentage of this crowd are Boise State fans, and right now they're a little bit stunned. Boston College, they have come to this blue turf, and they have put a 10 spot on the board. 10-0 they lead after a long drive. 15-play drive nets them a field goal from 30 yards out from Oliger. Kickoff goes out through the back of the end zone, and Boise State, they will start on the 20-yard line. And looks like Jared Zabransky is going to sit this series out. We'll tell you who the new quarterback is for Boise State when we come back.
Boston College. Welcome back to Boise. Boston College up by 10, and offensive coordinator Chris Peterson told us backup quarterback Taylor Tharp would play in the second quarter. Well, that time has come. Now the reason, it's not punishment for Jared Zabransky, but instead a reward for Taylor Tharp. More after this play.
Screams it out to Ian Johnson, and Johnson out close to the 50-yard line. How about that for an explosive play? And the first pass from Taylor Tharp, a pickup of 25 yards. Heather?
And Eric Taylor Tharp played the entire second half in the season opener at Georgia after Zabransky had those 6 turnovers in the first half. He also played the majority of the second half in a win over Idaho. But for the first time, Taylor Tharp is preparing for a college game knowing he will play. And Coach Peterson did tell us that Tharp will have the same players at his disposal as Zabransky, a golden opportunity for the young quarterback.
Yeah, and he'll go into the spring and compete with Zabransky for the starting job. So first time in a while that Zabransky will have to compete to remain the starter.
Johnson this time on the ground. No, that's Jeff Carpenter with the carry. Brought down by Ray Henderson after a pickup of 1. There's Chris Peterson, the offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts, Andre, on rewarding players in a bowl game?
Well, you know, there's a point and a place for it. And certainly when you're down like this, you're trying to find some rhythm. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets hot in this football game that he remains in there, because you're down 10-0. You're just looking for some type of spark. I'm just a one quarterback kind of guy. I like to see one quarterback from start to finish unless there's just a very, very bad day at that position.
Jeff Carpenter showing some patience. Little jitterbug, moves out across the 50-yard line. He picks up 5 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3, maybe 4 yards.
Yeah, basically just trying to get things in a manageable down and distance on 3rd down and medium. And keep the young quarterback in a position where he's not trying to do too much. Taylor Tharp has had some success, and that's why he's on the football field and he's being rewarded.
Yeah, they made no bones about it. They said he's practiced well the entire season. He's been a good soldier, good citizen, and they just figure end of the season, why not? Let's reward him for his due diligence. So he's on the field, and we'll probably see maybe a couple of possessions for Boise State, as it looks like this one's going to come to an end. That pass attempt to squeeze into the hands of Legadou Nene, and it's incomplete, so the punting team will have to come on. Yeah,
Legadou Nene was wide open, just a little curl rod in front of the quarterback, and this one you just step into and give him a catchable football. Throws it a little bit high. Oh boy, if he connects there, it's 1st down, and the chains will continue to move. But the result, Boston College going to get the football back.
And the dangerous Will Blackman more than likely will touch this punt off the foot of Kyle Stringer. Blackman, one of the best punt returners in the history of college football. And he's not going to have an opportunity as that punt bounces at about the 1-yard line and bounds into the end zone. So Taylor Tharp and Boise State look like they had a good thing going, but they have to punt the football away. Well, here in Boise, Idaho, there's a natural beauty that is everywhere. We play the 9th edition of the MPC Computers Bowl. Boise State has played in this bowl for 4 times over the years, of the 9 years, and right now they are up against it, trailing 10-0 against the Eagles of Boston College. Larry Lester picks up 6 yards on that throw from Matt Ryan.
Well, you see a guy with a few more games under his belt, Matt Ryan, and then you talk about the backup quarterback Taylor Tharp. Basically the same type of pattern that Matt Ryan just completed to Larry Lester. Just enough on the football, step into it, make a play, move the change. Taylor Tharp unable to come up with that same completion earlier for Boise State.
Ryan, another quick pitch and catch to Lester. And Lester has enough for a 1st down as he lunges to the 35-yard line and a pickup of 9.
Boy, good job of finding the soft spots in the zone. Same play, opposite side of the field, same formation as the completion before, but just going to find the soft spots, turn around, give your numbers to the quarterback, and right on time before the hole collapses, Matt Ryan with the football.
Lester now with 4 catches and 27 yards. Play fake, and they want a bunch looking for Blackman. The throw is incomplete. Blackman was being closely guarded by Orlando Scandrick. The freshman wins that time. Scandrick against the senior Blackman, holding his own.
Yeah, that's when they like to bring him off that short edge of the field, but they're in coverage, showing his ability to defend down the field. And then Boston College wanting to take a shot to their playmaker, Will Blackman, down the sideline and just overthrown.
Ryan showing off that good arm. That ball was 55 yards in the air. 2nd down at 10. Andre Callender with the carry. And Callender Barreling forward. Pick up of 5 yards. Marty Tadman in on that stop. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
Yeah, running behind Andrew Woodruff, Ryan Clatty, and the big center, Jeff Cavender. Excuse me, for Boston College. The big offensive line trying to get some push up front. Not a whole lot of movement there. I'll tell you, Alex Guerrero has played an outstanding game defensively for Boise State. Just in there in the middle, fighting, holding his own. That guy just playing big today against a huge offensive line.
Boise State looking for a stop. Trying to set up an inside screen, and it's snuffed out. Tony Gonzalez had it, but he goes down after a pickup of just 2. Nick Sleckaway.
When Nick Sleckaway had to redirect because they're trying to set up an outside screen to come from outside underneath and then up the field. And as a defensive lineman, as soon as you see the ball come out, you have to redirect and go out and make a play. Well, I tell you, he did a heck of a job there redirecting, and then you got to bring down a skill position player in the open field.
And now a very dangerous Quentin Jones awaits the Johnny Ayers punt. You just saw that Jones, 2nd in the country in punt return average to only Maurice Drew of UCLA. He may have a chance. Fields it on the run at the 21-yard line. Makes 2 men miss. Spins and drops down close to the 40-yard line. But a return of 18 yards for Quentin Jones after a 37-yard punt off the foot of Ayers. So good field position for the Broncos of Boise State. Well, let's take a look now at today's Aflac trivia question. Boston College has the longest active streak of bowl wins. That's 5. What team has the longest active streak of bowl appearances?
Good question.
I only come up with good questions for the Aflac trivia question.
Got one in mind. We'll hold it for later.
Boston College now on defense. Antoine Carter is the deep back behind Taylor Tharp, now in his 2nd series as quarterback for Boise State. And Tharp wants to throw for a bunch. Jump ball, middle of the field. That ball almost was intercepted. A flag flies, and who's this one going to be against? I'm not sure. The fans here think it's against Boston College.
I'm not sure. A lot of redirecting, guys trying to make a play for the football. And it may be on free safety, Kevin Atkins.
Pass interference, offense. Number 4,
Wow.
15 yards, 1st down.
Lagadou Nene is guilty of the infraction. Like we said, it was a jump ball. Everyone has a right to the football.
He does, and he may have come through the defender in order to get back. Right there, just trying to hold him. Got a piece of the jersey.
It was Larry Anam who looked like he had
good position on the football, trying to make a play, and Nene basically grabbed him with the right arm. Got that right arm on the jersey, trying to bring him down. You turn defender when you know it's underthrown, and all of a sudden the defensive back can make a play on the football for an interception. You turn defensive back as a wide receiver, and there he just a little too much jersey.
Nene, not with a lot of experience as wide receiver. He's a converted quarterback. He lost the battle for the starting quarterback job 2 seasons ago to Jared Zabransky and said, I want to play a new position. Tharp completes it over the middle. Gets it to his tight end, and Derek Schumann out to about the 33-yard line.
A very well-designed play. They got Nene lined up in the slot, and he's basically just going to pull coverage out here and allow for the dragman to come underneath for this completion by Taylor Tharp. Right here, you see the drag coming underneath now, cleared out by this receiver, Nene. Well-designed football play.
Pickup of 9 yards. Schumann goes to the sideline. Jeff Carpenter goes in motion. 5 receivers in the game for Boise State. Tharp on the run. Complete, but just a short gain along that left sideline. Pass is caught by Gerard Rabb, but it's going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, everybody's All-American and one of my favorite players in the country, Matthias Kiwanuka, been kind of kept quiet. He's working against Darren College, who hadn't given up a sack since his sophomore year here at Boise State. And I'll tell you, that's one heck of a matchup we'll keep an eye on. But boy, he's been quiet in this football game so far.
Third down at 12. And a flag flies.
Well, it looked like Boston College may have confused Boise State a little bit. Looked like they were going to bring pressure off the corner.
Start. Offense, number 73, 5 yards, third down.
And that's the big fella, Darren College right there. A little false start, trying to get a head start on the defense, but looked like Jasmine Williams was going to come from over the slot on a blitz. And the safety's rotating over the top. Ryan Glasper as well to cover up in the slot, and you'll see it here. Watch for the safety blitz right there on your screen coming from number 4 on the outside. They decide to go zone here.
No blitz, Tharp with time, and he tries to throw short, incomplete, looking for Cole Klassen, and it's going to bring up a fourth down, and the punt team will have to come on. Boise State really struggling offensively so far against Matthias Kiwanuka and the Eagles of Boston College. That drive was just killed by 2 penalties early that set them back.
Yeah, Ryan Claddy has done an excellent job on him as well, because they're moving Kiwanuka around on that defensive line. They've had him at right end, left end, and boy, both tackles for Boise State doing a pretty good job on him.
Stringer's punt is short. It bounces. And it'll be down at about the 35-yard line, and that is where Boston College will start on offense. A punt of 33 yards. Matthias Kiwanuka and the defense for Boston College getting it done so far.
So far, so good for Boise State. You see double teams helping with the backs to tackle and guards here. Double teaming on Kiwanuka. Right here, an outside rush. They leave him one-on-one with their best offensive lineman, Darren College, who does a fabulous job. Then Ryan Claddy gets inside and forces Zabransky, but even that one was a completion down the field. And then here, Claddy again working on Kiwanuka, getting to the quarterback, but just a little bit too late. So a lot of different ways to kind of keep him in check in this football game. Really hadn't had that breakout performance yet.
On the ground on first down. Boston College tries the left side, and a pickup of maybe 2 yards.
Yeah, Corey Hall kind of disrupted things from the middle linebacker position. Got there first, fought off a couple of blocks inside. But boy, he has got a tough chore today. The big offensive line, and they're releasing, trying to get to the second level of the defense, which is where Corey Hall makes his home. So you're going to have those big 6'6" guys in your face all day. Got to cipher through them and get to the running back.
Give once again to Whitworth. And once again, not much doing. He was undercut by Corey Hall. Hall jumped in there and made a nice stop near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Yeah, good job by Mike G. Williams as well, collapsing from the right defensive end position, kind of forcing things back inside to Corey Hall. Good job of team defense, and that's what you need when you play and you're outmanned. Team has a lot of size on you. You got to show up in numbers. So far, Boise State holding up, just down by 10, but defensively playing well.
Third down and 8, under pressure. Pass is incomplete, almost intercepted by Marty Tadman. Tadman sniffed that one out. He knew it was coming, almost had himself a pick.
Big time, and they go blitz there to try to disrupt things from Matt Ryan. You'll see the blitz coming here. Corey Hall up the middle of the formation, and good ball awareness on the part of Marty Tadman. Finding the back in the middle, the receiver coming underneath in the middle of the formation. Free safety, Marty Tadman. You got to cover up once guys blitz and vacate areas. You have to be responsible for the vacated area. Well played football play there by Marty Tadman.
That is the first 3 and out forced by the Boise State defense. Quentin Jones will have room to return this one. Fields on the 16. Gets out across the 25 to the 28-yard line. A pickup of 12 on the return. Matthias Kiwanuka and his defense grabbing the lunch pail. They'll go back to work when we come back. Capital One Bowl Week rolling on here in Boise, Idaho. The MPC Computers Bowl. It's Boise State and Boston College going after it, as Boise State They're losing 10-0. We played the second quarter. Jared Zabransky back in the game under center for the Broncos. Possibly movement on that line. A flag is down. Antoine Carter carries it right side. He picks up about 4 yards. We'll have to see whether or not that will stand.
Looks like Boston College may have flinched just a little bit. Zabransky goes with the hard count. You could see it in his body language that he was really trying to bark out the signal.
Offside defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And he got the big fella to jump offside. So that's the free 5 for the offense of Boise State. And when I got free 5, you get the hard count, you get it to work for you. Next one was going over the top. You're going to take a shot now because you got a free down, free 5 yards. Take a shot.
See if they do. Man in motion. Cole Klassen. And they want to throw out on the perimeter. Nene with the catch and the first down. Let's go to Heather Cox, who is standing by in the stands. Heather?
Joined by Dick Tharp, who is also the father of Taylor Tharp, and ironically the former athletic director at Colorado. Now, first of all, let's talk about Taylor's two series. How would you assess his performance?
Well, as a parent, it's exciting and nerve-wracking to watch him play, but he's worked so hard. We're excited for him. Glad to see him get in there and have a go, and just hoping to get some points on the board.
It's certainly tough in this win. Now, as the former athletic director at Colorado, you're very familiar with the football program and its recent struggles. With that knowledge, what sort of opportunities and challenges do you see for Coach Hawkins when he goes to Boulder?
Well, as you know, Heather, we've been in Boulder 35 years. We've raised our kids there. It's a wonderful community and graduates, University of Colorado. So we think it's an exciting place and a great university. You know, Hawk will do just fine. He'll come in with great enthusiasm and passion for kids in the game, and so he'll be great. On the other hand, we love Boise, and we think it's a wonderful place, and you've been here a long time, I know, so we like coming up here and think this is a wonderful community too. So, you know, they all work out, and it's just all about the kids, and whatever's best for them will be fine. Having
talked to Taylor quite a bit this week, what is his reaction and the players' reactions to Coach Hawkins' departure?
Well, I think they have mixed reaction. As you would expect kids to have, they have mixed reaction about losing somebody. They're glad that Coach Peterson is staying because they really like Coach Pete. And so the kids sort of go through all sorts of emotions, and they settle down and just get on with their business. So they'll be fine. They're doing just great.
Dick, we certainly appreciate your time. Happy New Year to you and your family.
Take care
Thanks,
of yourself.
Dick.
Okay,
you too.
Heather, thank you so much. Well, the offense starting to come alive for Boise State. A big pitch and catch, Zabransky to Vinny Peretta for 18 yards, and then a little pitch out to Cole Klassen, who tries the left side and picks up another first down for the Broncos. So 37 yards picked up on the last 3 plays for Boise State.
Yeah, best offensive production so far for Boise State.
False start, 73 offense, 5 yards, first down.
Well, he's got the big fella lined up over him. He's trying to get out and maybe a pass set or get an advantage on the run block on Matthias Kiwanuka. And those two guys, that's one heck of a matchup. College making his 52nd start in this football game. A lot of experience at that left tackle position going against an All-American and Matthias Kiwanuka.
So they march back 5 yards. First down at 15. Fake to Jeff Carpenter. Set up the screen. Carpenter has it. And this time picks up about 4 yards. The ball comes loose. And coming the other way is Ray Henderson. And Henderson inside the 15-yard line. A flag flies late. That may be illegal participation from Boston College, as a lot of their team is on the field right now. But a forced fumble, Jolon Dunbar knocked it loose, and Henderson picked it up and runs it back inside the 15.
Well, it was a good heads-up play on the part of Ray Henderson because the whistle did not blow, and the official threw the beanbag, which basically is a signal for a fumble. They may have some tripping on the end of this as Jeff Carpenter was trying to run down Ray Henderson.
Boston College, sideline warning.
Yeah. And he hit the nail on the head with that one, but a good heads-up play on the part of Ray Henderson. You see here, Jeff Carpenter inside, the ball comes out. It's clearly a fumble, and then Ray Henderson right there picking it up and going the other way with it. Did not hear a whistle, and it looks like he might be down, but he's not quite down yet. The ball comes out right there in the center of the screen, and Ray Henderson right in his midst takes off down the sideline.
Ray Henderson, Johnny on the spot,
Former
returns
quarterback.
it 57 yards inside the 15-yard line down to the 14, but that play is now under review.
Yeah, and he's a former quarterback, so he knows how to run a little bit with the football. High school quarterback that came in after one semester, moved to linebacker in the middle. And right here, you're going to see if the knee is down. I don't think so. That is a fumble. The ball comes out. I think it's going to be Boston College's football at around the 13-yard line.
I'm not sure we should be looking at the knee. Maybe the shoulder came down. Looked like the right shoulder was spinning down. That was the first part of the body for Jeff Carpenter to touch the field.
Well, we'll take one more look at it, and you'll see right in here, kind of going down the helmet on the football, and now it's out right there. You see the football right there. It is out, clearly out. There it comes. It's a fumble. It is a fumble.
That play's going to hold up.
Yep.
So Boston College, they catch a huge break as Boise State rumbling down the field, but they turn it over.
That's a good job by our camera guys right there. That's putting the camera right on the football, and I don't know what's taking so long, and that is a fumble in our book. Camera crew doing an excellent job.
Remember, the WAC normally does not utilize that instant replay.
Something
but
new.
Every bowl game will have the instant replay possibility.
And going to it in 06 will be the WAC.
After review, the play is ruled a fumble. Play stand.
Yep. Good job by the officials. They saw it exact way we saw it, and that's why the review is there, just to get the calls right.
So Boston College, they have had the momentum the majority of this game, and it looked like maybe it was starting to slip away, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
They get the football back and momentum once again on their side with this fantastic field position.
A couple of penalties and now turnovers, two big ones in this football game for Boise State, has put Boston College at point-blank range.
Ryan wants to throw, wants a touchdown, back in the end zone, touchdown! Tony Gonzalez, his second score of the game. How about that for a lightning strike? 13 yards, Ryan Gonzalez.
Man, he waits it out because he's going to have a tight end. You'll see a tight end coming to you'll see the receiver ISO here first. Good job of pushing down inside and then flattening that thing off, coming right down the center of the formation. But a better job with the eyes of Matt Ryan, kind of staring down the tight end, allowing for the receiver to come open behind him. And it was a two-level throw. If you either go right now to the tight end or go to the receiver behind it, decided to wait it out for the touchdown pass.
Matt Ryan and Boston College making it happen. 13-yard touchdown pass. Ryan to Gonzalez and the Boston College Eagles, they're soaring right now. They're on top, 17-0 over the Broncos of Boise State. (17-0) Boston College stunning Boise State here at Bronco Stadium. 2:27 remaining here in the first half, and Santa Claus still giving out presents to the Eagles. Couple of turnovers, Boise State with an interception and a fumble, and Boston College, they have made it pay off. 2 touchdowns and a field goal, while their defense has pitched a shutout against the Broncos.
Yeah, defensively, they just make you earn it. We were talking to Dan Hawkins. He said, you know, where this time of year you get a lot of different goal line looks from different defenses. Against Boston College, he saw maybe 5. They just don't allow you down inside the 10-yard line.
Deep kickoff into the stands. So Boston College will start on defense, and Zabransky will have the ball on the 20-yard line. Now let's go back to the studio and Reese Davis. Reese?
All right, Eric Lou Olds, Mark May alongside. Coming up at halftime, Matthias Kiwanuka will let you get to know him off the football field and project how he'll do in the NFL. We'll also talk about the next game of our doubleheader, the MasterCard Alamo Bowl, and what the Jaguars expect to get their quarterback back.
And I will tell you not only where Matthias Kiwanuka will be drafted in which round, but how well he will do at the next level as a rookie.
And I'd like to share with you why I think he'll even be better in the pro level than in the college game.
Not all Kiwanuka all the time, but a lot of Kiwanuka during halftime when we come back, guys.
Thanks, guys. We will be watching. Zabransky wants to throw on first down, and it is low. looking for Gerard Rabb, incomplete.
Well, we'll go back and take a look at the touchdown. You're going to see this is a two-level throw, a high-low. Tight end's going to release up the field, which allows the receiver to work behind him. And watch the eyes of Matt Ryan. Right here, the play fake, holding the linebackers up. Pause it right there. You see the commitment right here by the free safety, allows for the receiver to work in behind him to get to the end of the end zone, and right on time with the football, Matt Ryan. Well-designed football play, well executed by the quarterback.
Zabransky under pressure. He is brought down. Nick Larkin, the first man to get to him, and he brings him down. And everything going the way of the Eagles right now. Larkin and B.J. Raji combining for the sack.
You know, I found it funny. We were talking to Kiwanuka yesterday, and he said he went to Nick Larkin, who is a sophomore, just an underclassman, but basically asked him, how is it, you talk about teamwork at the highest level, he sought out a sophomore who looks up to him in terms of how to stop the run. How do you play the run? Give me some techniques, and he's always trying to polish his game as a run stopper. We know he can rush the passer, but he's become one heck of a run stopper as well.
I think there was some reciprocal trading right there, because Kiwanuka, I think, gave him some tips on how to rush the quarterback.
Said, you know what, I'll trade with you. You give me some some pass rushing ability and some pass rushing techniques, and I'll give you a little run stopping technique.
Boston College calls the timeout. They want to keep some time on the clock should they get the football back. Well, time now for our Aflac Trivia answer. We told you the Boston College has the longest streak of bowl wins at 5 in the country, but we asked what team has the longest active streak of bowl appearances, and the answer is, how about that, the Wolverines coming out of the Big Ten.
I whispered it to the big fella here, our stage manager, Bob Lanigan.
You didn't whisper it to me.
Well, you know, I can't. You know, if I whisper it to you, I reveal the answer to the viewing audience. So I had to whisper it to Lanigan, and he can vouch for me.
31 consecutive seasons of playing in the postseason. And now they're normally, over recent years, playing in January.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different. They're going to play the MasterCard Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN later tonight, taking on Nebraska. And that game obviously played in December, so somewhat of a change for Michigan. On 3rd down and long, pass intended for Rabb, and Zabransky can't find his mark. Incomplete.
I thought it was a well-thrown football, and there Gerard Rabb basically has to come up with that football. It was a well-thrown, well-executed play, a little in route, deep down, and he gets to the first down marker, but then finished the play with a reception. I think he thought he was going to get hit, and that little gator arms working there.
That would have been a 20-yard gain and enough for a first down, but instead they have to punt the football away. Will Blackman has it, a little bit of juke, gets to midfield, and he's brought down in a huff. So good starting field position after a 41-yard punt and a 6-yard return. Matt Ryan has just 50 yards to go for another score for Boston College.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's go back real quick to the job that they're doing. The right guard and right tackle working on Kiwanuka, trying to get outside. And boy, they're going to, right there, no threat to the guard. He's going to go help out the big fella. And you can do that inside in the trenches. Both guys working well against Kiwanuka. He draws double team. Deep backs are trying to double team. Chip to get out. That's when you know you're good. Drawing double team every time.
Ryan throw on 1st down. Pass is complete. Once again, looking for his favorite target today, Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez now with 4 catches. 2 of them have gone for touchdowns. Pickup of 6 on 1st down.
Well, my good friend Clyde Drexler used to tell me all the time, you know you're good when you get to when you draw the double team every night. But Kiwanuka drawing double teams all throughout this football game.
Timeout is called. Boise State calls that timeout. A little bit surprising. Not sure what they gained by calling a timeout.
He doesn't have the right personnel on the field. Let's take a look at both touchdowns by Tony Gonzalez working across the formation. The first one here, a little in route. Matt Ryan gets pressure, but he doesn't stop his route. He continues to work in the scramble drill, and right there, accurately thrown football. And then here, the high-low, working the higher end of it. The tight end pulls in coverage, and working behind coverage is Tony Gonzalez. Well, I tell you, the thing that impressed me on both those touchdown receptions were the timing. And if he's late in the scramble drill, it's got an opportunity to be knocked down or picked off. There, just the timing. As soon as he clears the tight end, the football is already in the air. Matt Ryan gaining experience on the field, and I tell you, just been fabulous in terms of his timing, getting back, getting set, and getting the ball out to his playmaker.
And lest we forget, that touchdown, the first one to Gonzalez, was on a 4th down and 4 play.
Yeah.
So a gutsy pass attempt from Matt Ryan completed to Gonzalez. They want to throw for it, and they want a bunch. Deep, has a man, incomplete, but a flag flies. We're going to have interference inside the 5-yard line on Blackman. Yeah. Gerald Alexander got too much of Blackman on his way by, and he's whistled for the infraction.
Well, and if you think the wind in this stadium's not blowing, that football was just taken away by the wind. You put it up there, and if it's not cutting through the wind, even when it's at your back.
Pass interference. Defense, number 2, 15 yards, automatic first down.
You can hear it in the referee's microphone there, but it is blowing, and it got up a good piece into the air, and it just took off. Once the football's in the air, you watch it here. Matt Ryan, you see him trying to work an in and out move to Will Blackman, and the football's just being blown about 10 yards inside, way inside towards the official. And we know that he throws an accurate pass, so it wasn't Matt Ryan. It was the wind that affected that pass.
Alexander was hoping that maybe that pass was uncatchable. Maybe the penalty would be waived off, but it was said that it was still catchable.
Yeah, it almost was. He was trying to maybe work back inside to get to the football, but it was clearly affected by the wind. You know, that'll come into play when you're trying to kick field goals, extra points. If it's blowing that hard, it'll be tough. And you know, people think, oh, well, we get the wind to our back. But that sometimes, as for a quarterback, that's tougher because you know you got to knife it through if it's in your face. You got to put some touch on throws like that one, and then all of a sudden it gets carried away. You got to adjust to it, put it outside the receiver, and let it blow it back inside.
Boise State, they've done a good job of shooting themselves in the foot. In this quarter alone, 49 penalty yards. That's a recipe for disaster, particularly playing a fundamentally strong team like Boston College. 1st and 10, Ryan throws to no one in particular.
Well, he's outside the tackle box. Smart guy. The fans here want to see a intentional grounding, but there's no one open, a receiver in the area, and he just lobs it out of bounds.
And Ryan giving his team a jolt of energy ever since being inserted into the starting lineup. He is 4-0 as a starter for the Eagles.
You see the big fella, Jeremy Trueblood, here just working against number 96, Mike G. Williams, and won't let him up. I tell you, that's finishing the play right there. That's playing to the whistle.
On a blitz, may have trumped him. Andre Callender can't hit the hole fast enough. He had room to run if he could just get past that first wave, but Josh Bean knifes in and makes a nice catch. Chris Barrios also able to trip up the runner on his way through.
Yeah, Chris Barrios, actually it was Trueblood, Jeremy Trueblood, who missed the block and allowed for Barrios to make the play, pull him around inside, and they like to use him in a lot of different ways. He's a good football player, big kid. The kid has good movement.
Well, Thursday, ESPN offers up 2 more bowl games. At 4:30 Eastern, it's the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets taking on Utah and their high-scoring offense. That will be in the Emerald Bowl. Then at 8 Eastern, it's an Oregon Duck team that was shunned by the BCS despite having just 1 loss on the season. They'll take on the suddenly hot Oklahoma Sooners in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. The Emerald Bowl and the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl are part of Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN.
I still think that Oregon got the bad end of that deal. And you look at Utah here, their pass offense 15th in the country, total offense 12th. But you go back to that and Notre Dame being thrown into that bowl game, I think Oregon got the short end of the stick. How is it, explain to me, that we have BCS rankings all season long, you're ranked ahead of a team, and they go to a bowl before you go? Make me understand now.
You got to put some fannies in the seats.
Well, you know,
Notre Dame brings the crowd.
Not that far of a trip down to Arizona for Oregon fans.
3rd down and 11. And before the snap, flag flies on the field. May have been movement on line for Boston College along that right side.
Ball start. 77 offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
That's the right tackle, Gosder Sherless. Sophomore from Somerville, Massachusetts, and that doesn't please Tom O'Brien.
Man, he is a huge offensive lineman. Checks in at 6'7", 320 pounds, and can move. Yeah, you talk about guys along that line. They're not just big guys. They're big guys that can move. A lot of them have a basketball background, so they have good feet when they come to Boston College.
Blitz is picked up. Ryan with time. Left side. Blackman. Touchdown, BC. Will Blackman won that jump ball. A 35-yard touchdown. Ryan's 3rd touchdown pass of the half. And it's now 23-0 Boston College. A flag is down on the field, but I think this play's going to hold up.
Well, it looked like the defensive back, who was Austin Smith, may have slipped, which allowed Will Blackman to come back for this football. The ball hung in the air a long time, and maybe an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that'll be added on the kick to this as well. We'll get the official word here.
There's Orlando Scandrick being coached up by Dan Hawkins.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 16, removing the helmet on the field. 15-yard penalty would be administered on the kickoff.
It's basically out of frustration because he knew his teammate Austin Smith had help over the top. He slipped. He really didn't see him, but you'll see him rip his helmet off and throw it right there. You can't do it. I'm surprised he's still in this football game.
Yeah, he is a true freshman, and sometimes true freshmen make mistakes like that. Touchdown of 35 yards. Boston College with touchdowns on 4th and 4 and 3rd and 16 already in this first half. Extra point, no problem, 24-0. And how about this for a shocker? Boston College coming into a lion's den and really handing it to Boise State so far through 30 minutes.
A tough look here, but when you'll see the defensive back, number 37, Austin Smith, slip down, which allowed for Will Blackman to make this play. Coming from inside out, you see the slip right there. And then all of a sudden, Will Blackman, their playmaker offensively, comes in for the touchdown reception.
And Matt Ryan, they talk about that spark that he's given this team when there's opportunities. He's the type of guy, he likes to jump at those opportunities.
He really does. I mean, he sees a guy open and he will really get the football there. He is an accurate passer, a good leader, a competitor. And I'll tell you, his teammates, even Matthias Kiwanuka, when he talks about Matt Ryan, a lot of respect from the senior to the sophomore.
Right now, Boston College is playing angry, and there may be a reason why they're playing angry. Tom O'Brien's team, they spent Christmas here in Boise, Idaho, and what happened at their Christmas dinner? Here in the potato capital of the world, they ran out of mashed potatoes. So these guys are angry.
Yeah.
That's been sticking in their craw for a couple of days now, and they're taking it out on the Boise State Broncos.
Yeah, he was talking about that yesterday. He said, you know, how do you run out of mashed potatoes at Christmas dinner? He's a little upset about it. He joked about it, but you know, you could see that there was some seriousness in his face as well.
24-0. The Eagles of Boston College making a statement, stunning Boise State and their fans.
I mean, this is a place they are not used to losing ball games.
After the penalty, kickoff on the 50, and that ball easily sails out of the back of the end zone, and Boise State will start on the 20-yard line.
The man there looks a little shocked. All the fans here, they are not used to seeing their football team suffer at the hands of opponents here early in this football game, a 24-0 lead.
Now, just a couple of moments ago, it was a 10-0 Boston College lead, but Boise State, they were driving.
Turnover.
Penalty, returned by Ray Henderson, and next thing you know, it's 24-0.
I mean, they absolutely look stunned here, and this is not the football team they are witnessing or have witnessed for many, many years in this stadium. Take one like this, but you know what? It's an offense that can get you back in the football game in a hurry. So don't blink your eyes, Boise State. You may miss something.
Boise State 8th in the country in scoring offense. They average 37 points per game. They average 47 points in every home game they play. But right now, they have a goose egg next to their name.
Yeah, and you see the big fella, Matthias Kiwanuka, working down the line of scrimmage from the backside, getting to Jeff Carpenter, the running back. And that flies under the radar. His ability to play against the run really, really flies under the radar.
Zabransky going on the run. Incomplete, looking for Legadou Nene. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long. Scoring normally not a problem for Chris Peterson's bunch. Take a look at those numbers. They were tops in the country in 2002 and 2003. Last year they slipped all the way down to 2nd, putting up 48 points a night. This year down to 8th, but still very respectable, 37 points per game. But right now, after 29 minutes and change, 0 against the Eagles of Boston College.
Yeah, it's been tough, and when you get yourself a 24-point lead, a lot of things you can do defensively in terms of trying to create some pressure.
Nice catch. Gerard Rabb has it and goes out of bounds. About the 46-yard line, a pickup of 22 yards. So the Broncos still fighting here in the first half.
Yeah, 2 timeouts left, 36 seconds, a lot of time left in this first half. All you want to do is go down and get some type of points on the board if you can. Whether it's a field goal, you want the momentum going into the locker room so you can have something to hang your hat on here in the second half.
Blitz on. Zabransky gets it out. Nene had it, then lost it. Nice throw, but Nene can't hang on. He was thumped by Dewan Tribble.
Yeah, they blitzed Jasmine Williams, and he gets there just a little bit late. You're going to see him coming into your screen, and then all of a sudden right here, that's one you got to have. You're struggling all day long, but a well played by Dewan Tribble. Get your hands on the football. A couple of receivers now have had a chance. Rabb early in the football game, and then there, Legadou Nene. You got to bring those footballs in.
2nd down and 10. And Zabransky wants a bunch. Throws in traffic. Incomplete. Dewan Tribble. Nice defense. Vinny Peretta had it knocked out of his hands.
Yeah, he's their best cover guy, Dewan Tribble, and he's the guy that allowed them to move Will Blackman to the offensive side of the football. He really stepped his game up, and Zabransky holding the safety, trying to take a shot down the right side of the formation, outside, and right there getting a hand on the football is Vinny Peretta, but better played on the part of Dewan Tribble.
Jared Zabransky just 1 for his last 6. Trying to kickstart this offense. Near the end of the first half. 3rd down and a bunch. Slips out of the pocket, tries to run for it, goes out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
See, I think that's when Zabransky gets himself in trouble. That Georgia game, they got behind early in the football game, and he started trying to make plays, trying to force things in there into tight areas, and you wind up turning the football over a bunch. And this is a recipe for a mess for Zabransky if he tries to adopt that theory here. He is a courageous quarterback, but he's got to remember it's 1 down at a time to work himself back into this football game.
4th down at 5, 17 seconds remaining. It looks like they're going to go for it. Is this surprising to you?
Not at all. Dan Hawkins comes to win. He's not going to leave anything left. It won't be anything left on the table.
Carpenter has the football, and Carpenter trying to dive for the first down. He's not going to get there. So Boston College is going to take over on downs with 11 seconds remaining.
And a timeout. And I'd have to say I would take a shot here. You never have enough points. You don't know when you lose momentum. They go right to the line of scrimmage. They're actually going to huddle up. But Tom O'Brien may kneel it down here. But I'm telling you, I would try to strike again. There's no such thing as too many points in the first half of a football game.
Matt Ryan use that passing game.
We can get friendly. We can get friendly in the second half.
Trying to set up a big play. Ryan with plenty of time. Throws deep, showing off that big arm. And the pass is caught by Blackman. Blackman needs to get in, and he's brought down at the 2-yard line. He is just denied.
Well, he comes back, works back for the football, and the time's going to run out here on Boston College. But boy, gutsy call, well-thrown football, and a better catch on the part of Will Blackman. The wind looked like it affected this pass again. Right here, Matt Ryan gives it all he has, and the wind, you see it floating a little bit inside. And Will Blackman right there, going up right where you're supposed to catch it at the highest point, and he almost about 1.5 yards short of pay dirt.
He needed 54 yards. He got 53. Matt Ryan to Will Blackman, just a hair short. That would have been disaster for Boise State. But Boston College, with momentum firmly on their side, they go into the locker room on top of Boise State, 24-0. Let's go down to Heather Cox, who is standing by with the head coach for Boston College.
Coach O'Brien, Boise State averages 47 points per game here on the blue turf. Defensively, what have you done to hold them scoreless?
Well, I think our kids are playing well. I think obviously Frank Spaziani did a good job putting the game plan together, but you know, it's only halftime. They're a great second half football team. They outscore people about 5-1 the second half, so we're going to have to play really well to win this one. Your
backup quarterback, Matt Ryan, already 3 touchdown passes. How have you put him in a position for success?
Well, he's not our backup. He's our starter now and has been. But, you know, he loves to compete. He's got a great arm and made a couple great throws. Just too bad we couldn't get in there at the end.
Nice first half, Coach. Eric, back to you.
Thank you so much, Heather. There goes Tom O'Brien, his team on top, 24-0. Now let's go back to the studio for the college football halftime report and Reese Davis. Reese, Boise State, they have never lost this bowl game. They're 3-0 in the MPC Computers Bowl, but right now they're up against it. They trail Boston College 24-0 with just 30 minutes remaining in this game. Andre, Boise State, they're going to start with the football. Give me their recipe for success.
Well, I think the recipe for success, first and foremost, is to stop with the penalties that have basically cost them in this football game, as well as 2 turnovers early in this second half. So if they could put those things behind them, they've proven that they can move the football against a good BC defense. If they stop with the mistakes, they'll give themselves a chance to get back in this ball game.
Well, right before we get to that opening kickoff here in the third quarter, let's take a look at the first half statistics brought to you by Suzuki. And Andre, these are the numbers to the first period of play, and domination for the most part by BC.
Well, and you see right here, third down conversions as well as the turnovers have really hurt the Boise State football team. So the penalty yardage as well, it looks even, but it's been at critical times during drives in which they're moving the football against Boston College. It's really cost Dan Hawkins and his Boise State football team.
Did you see this coming? We've been around these teams over the last couple of days.
Not at all. Not at all. You know, you look at it, it was a great matchup on paper. The win streak here at home for Boise State, with it being a home game essentially for them. And I did not see 24 to love in the first half of this football game.
Ball is kicked high and deep. It's returnable. And here come the Broncos. Quentin Jones brings it out. And Jones stumbles close to the 20-yard line. Let's go down to the field. And Heather Cox. Heather.
I just caught up with Boise State coach Dan Hawkins. He was very philosophical. He said, I don't mean to sound cliche, but it is really one play at a time. It's not about getting 24 points. It's not about getting 7 points. It's just about executing offensively. He said, honestly, we weren't that bad offensively. We just had the turnovers, so we're not going to make any adjustments. We just need to keep possession of the ball offensively, guys.
Thank you, Heather. Well, we saw 2 quarterbacks in the first half of play for Boise State. We saw Jared Zabransky, and for 2 series, we saw Taylor Tharp. Zabransky back under center, get things going here in the third quarter. Make the handoff to Ian Johnson. Little swing out to the tight end, and the pass goes through the mitts of Derek Schulman.
Zabransky, the first half, 8 out of 15, starts this half with an incompletion, basically an easy throw to his tight end, Derek Schulman, who they really got to get involved in this football game if they're going to have some success. He's a big part of this Boise State offense in the pass game, but they have really struggled in terms of turnovers, penalties, and you know, Zabransky, the thing that you tell him is like, look, it's one play at a time. Don't try to do too much. Let's just get the first 7 or the first 3 points on the board before we try to get ourselves completely back in the game.
Handoff. Antoine Carter wrapped up and brought down after a gain of about 2. Boston College coming out playing good defense here in the third quarter. Alvin Washington and Matthias Kiwanuka combining to bring down Carter. There's big Al Washington. He is healthy again, and he's been a real force in the middle of the lineup for BC.
Just been really, really stiff in terms of running the football. They bring in Antoine Carter. Their short yardage guy trying to get more punch in the middle of the formation, run between the tackles a little bit, show some toughness for Boise State. And Boston College, they are just not having it.
3rd down and 8. Zabransky has his pass complete. Big yards. Lagadou Nene with the catch and a pickup of 16 yards.
And, you know, it's easy when you play pitch and catch, quarterback and receiver. And Nene had a huge drop on a 3rd down play early in the first half. But right there, well-thrown football, good touch on it over the linebacker. And Nene, very catchable football. He makes a play. They pick up 1st downs. They've moved the football against Boston College. It's been turnovers, penalties that have cost them in this football game, that's got them in this position. Just manage the football game right now.
Ball on the 39-yard line. Bransky quickly out to the side. Pass is complete. Gerard Rabb, good 1st down yards, a gain of 9.
But what I liked most about the play, Gerard Rabb, he didn't hesitate, didn't try to shake the defender, got north and south. This is a quick play. It's designed to get one-on-one with a receiver and the cornerback out here in this space. Just get it and go north and south. You see him right there. Split the defenders, get as much as you can. It's an extended run, and when you get it and you end up at 2nd down and 1, boy, that's a bonus. Only designed for about 4 or 5 yards. But boy, when you get in this position, now you can go to work.
Zabransky's now thrown for 104 yards on the day. Trapped in the backfield, Lee Marks, no place to go. Ray Henderson, Johnny on the spot, drops him for a loss of a couple. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 4 as the troubles continue for Boise State. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot whenever they do something positive.
Yeah, they're the miscues. 2 failed 4th down attempts. 2 turnovers that were costly that resulted in touchdowns for BC, and then the 7 penalties that have really hurt them offensively.
Before the snap, a whistle.
Maybe BC may have called a timeout.
Timeout. Boston College, first charge timeout.
So BC has to call a timeout, and we will take a timeout with them. Dan Hawkins trying to urge his team on. They face a very pivotal 3rd down and 4 when we come back. Here at Broncos Stadium, a lot of Boise State fans, as you'd imagine. We're in Boise, Idaho, but there are some diehard Boston College fans, and you don't get more diehard than that if you're wearing like a small condominium on your head.
A couple of different ways to show your school colors.
It has started to rain here in Boise on 3rd and 4. They pitch it out. Lee Marks has it, and he is brought down before he can get to the 1st down marker. Jasmine Williams, heck of a play to make the tackle in open field. That's going to bring up a 4th down and short, and they're going to have to punt it away. Jared Zabransky in the offense for the Broncos, they're going to have to leave the field, and that's the last thing that Dan Hawkins wanted his offensive team to do coming out of the locker room here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, he wanted him to get off to a good start here early in this 2nd half, getting the ball first. Here, you just can't go for it. Maybe if you're across midfield, you take the gamble, but you don't want to give Boston College a short field with the lead they have.
Miles Stringer kicks it off. It is short, and it is muffed. Loose ball. Boise State. Not sure who has it.
And Boston College. A lot of white jerseys down at the bottom of that pile, but I think maybe one guy down in there. Jasmine Williams is down there, and he may be the guy that comes up with his fumble recovery.
Oh, that was a golden opportunity for the Broncos. They had first dibs, couldn't get it, and the ball goes to BC.
Yeah, Will Blackman, one of the sure-handed returnmen in college football. This one's kicked a little short. He misjudged it, had to really come up for it hard. And boy, you see all the jerseys of Boise State around the football, and Jasmine Williams is the guy that comes up with the fumble recovery.
And Boise State needed to catch a break. They do not. Rain may have stopped already. Just saw Dan Hawkins put on a jacket with the rain coming down. I think as quickly as it started, it may have stopped. Andre Callender, no place to go, dropped by Corey Hall. Good defensive play by the junior from Glens Ferry.
Two-time all-WAC defender. at his position at linebacker, and I tell you, fighting through blocks, and we talked about him having to really step up and make some plays, leverage among the guys in front, and there you see Corey Hall coming in, making a for sure tackle from that middle linebacker spot.
Loss of a yard. Broncos need a stop. Can't afford to fall down much more. Ryan shoots it out left side, incomplete, looking for Larry Lester. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 11.
Well, one of the few mistakes that Matt Ryan has made today, basically had a flat curl combination on the right side of the formation, and the flat guy comes open fast, outflanks the defense. He chooses not to go there, trying to wait on the curl. It gets covered up, and now you have nowhere to go with the football. And good coverage on the part of Boise State forces Matt Ryan to throw the football away.
Ryan on the run. Throws late and behind his receiver, looking for Blackman. It's incomplete. And it's going to be a 3 and out for Matt Ryan and the Eagles offense.
Boy, this Boise State defense has a little bit different look to it here early in this second half. They're going to get some decent field position. They have one of the better return men, Quentin Jones, back there returning punts, averages over 20 yards a punt return. Here today, just 15.3, but he is taking 2 back. He could go to the house with him. So you look at it, they're going to have excellent field position here on this possession.
Boise State may be coming after this one. They are. Ayers able to get it out. Low line drive, returnable. Jones has it, and he can't make the first man miss. Heck of a special teams play made to drop him quickly. Jasmine Williams drops Jones for a loss of 1. Welcome back to the capital city of Idaho. We're in Boise, where the rain is coming down in full force. Boise State taking on Boston College in the MPC Computers Bowl. First time these two teams have ever met. Out on the edge, Cole Klassen makes a couple of guys miss and picks up 9 yards on first down before Jolon Dunbar able to wrap him up and bring him to the blue turf.
Yeah, it's not just a mist. It is a full-blown rain that's going down here in Boise State. So that's going to change the dynamics of this football game a little bit in terms of, you know, who can hold on to it, who's used to playing in the conditions. Both quarterbacks will be affected because there's a little wind to go along with the rain. So stay tuned for this one. Zabransky, he's played in a few of these where he's had some bad weather games, and so is Matt Ryan. Out there in Boston, weather's not ideal.
You'd imagine both these schools not too afraid of the wet stuff. Handoff. Marks brought down in the backfield. Heck of a defensive play by the middle backer, Ray Henderson. Ray Henderson, as advertised, he's been a force today.
Yeah, Josh Bean helping out as well, but you see him right in the middle of the formation. Ray Henderson's going to show up. You see him creeping up right there and from the linebacker position. Then there's a hole. It vacates. He uses his speed to track down Lee Marks. Well timed on the part. When you recognize it, you see the guard go away. It's a handoff. The linebacker's going to feel. Boy, he showed his speed then to get to the runner.
Boise State goes from 2nd and 1 to now 3rd and 5 after the loss of 4. Zabransky wants a bunch, has a man, complete across midfield. Heck of a play made on that pitch and catch, a gain of 23 yards. And now Boise State starting to cook with gas.
And big Jared Hunter, the tight end, you'll see him coming to your screen, just working across the middle. Finds a soft spot in the zone in front of the free safety, number 24, Ryan Glasper. And Zabransky has impressed me with some passes. He's into the wind now. But I tell you, he's knifing them through. He's had some scrambles where he's throwing the ball on the move. He can make all the throws.
Inside run. Down to the 40-yard line goes Ian Johnson. Pickup of 5 on first down.
Ian Johnson, the redshirt freshman who steps in. They think he has got a bright future here at Boise State. When Lee Marks leaves and Antoine Carter, they've done it but running back by committee, and he stepped right in when given his reps and performed just as the other 3 have.
Boise State 9-3 on the year. They're champions of the Western Athletic Conference, going 7-1 in conference play. Lee Marks had a crease, and then that crease closed. Dunbar comes up and wraps him down at the 40-yard line as the rain is really coming down hard now.
Yeah, I mean, it is coming down a bunch. There's a flag on the play here. They have a little extra after the play, and I think it's going to be on number 40, Jolon Dunbar. A little extra celebration.
That's going to prompt a meeting on the sideline between Dunbar and the coaching staff. And folks, that's not just rain, that's hail coming down here at Bronco Stadium.
The players seem to love it. BC, give me some more. I don't know at what point this gets dangerous, because it is coming down very hard. You see here the tackle by Jolon Dunbar and Lee Marks, and then just a little bit extra right there. Little shove, drew the attention of the official. But this is hail coming down in pretty good size hail.
First down and 10, ball on the 24-yard line. They want to stay on the ground. Ian Johnson powers his way across the 20, a pickup of 5.
Well, they've energized this crowd as well. Nobody's moving. Right here supporting their home team, Boise State. And at every positive yard, crowd giving them a cheer. And I'll tell you, as a player, you can feel that. You feel when the crowd gets involved in it. You feel the energy coming from the stadium itself. And, you know, they're behind you. You're at home. It gives you a little pick-me-up, just enough.
Andre, kind of hard to believe, but this is the deepest penetration of the game for Boise State. Schumann goes in motion. Fake to the back going through, and Zabransky wants a touchdown. Back of the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Legadou Nene. Zabransky had completed his last 4 tosses, but that one a little bit wayward. Take a look at Boise State. The numbers surrounding this program, sensational, especially considering they just went to Division 1A in 1996. Look at that. Since 2000, a winning percentage of .840, tied with Georgia for 4th best in the country.
That's just 5 years. You back it up about 8 more, and they're 3rd, next to behind Texas and Miami, with 79 wins, 82 apiece for those 2 programs. So they've had some pretty good success here at Boise State.
Zabransky sets up a screen. It's complete, but they're not going to have enough for the first down. Pick up, maybe a yard. It's going to bring up a 4th down at 5. Ryzen James had that catch.
And Larry Anam, the defensive back to that side, read it out well. They try to pull Big Darren College out to kick out on the corner on the outside. And he makes a heck of a play sliding underneath and basically stopping the screen pass before it gets started, because there was plenty of room to run had he caught the football and been off to the races.
It's a 4th down at 5. Did Dan Hawkins have any thought of a field goal here?
I don't think so. I think Dan's thinking 7 points and get back in this football game.
Zabransky throws behind his receiver. Jeff Carpenter had a glance off his fingertips, and that's going to give the ball over to Boston College.
You know, I don't know if it's just not having much confidence in your kicker. The wind is blowing a lot, but maybe you're going to have 3 points anyway. Maybe you take it right there.
Zabransky and Boise State give it over to Boston College.
Back in Boise, Boston College up 24-0, and yes, the weather has definitely taken a turn for the worse. We've got hail, we've got rain. The clouds have just opened up in the last 5 minutes. Both teams seem to enjoy it, though both of them in their element. Seems to have energized them a little bit. People on the sideline certainly getting wet as hail continues to come down, Eric.
Thank you, Heather. Looks like you're in your element. She doesn't seem to be too disappointed down there.
Get her some protection down there from the hail. I mean, standing out in there. Players have helmets. Heather's down there just fighting it.
She's tougher than most. Will Blackman reverses field, and Blackman with a seam skips past a couple of defenders, still on his feet. Blackman with a chance, and he's out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. That man is electric.
Boy, you're talking about a playmaker. Will Blackman, just when it seemed like everything was going to shut down, he comes out the other side right here. Just get him the football really quick and make 2 guys miss right there. That's why he's so good at punt returns when he gets in the open field. Now another miss right here. Another broken tackle. 4 guys miss before he decides I've had enough. I'm going to take it out of bounds, get me a little rest.
With that footwork, you do not want to play him in twister. Inside run, Whitworth picks up a couple on first down.
You know, I think Will Blackman's a guy that his stock, once the season's over and scouts start to analyze him, you can play him on defense, you can play him at wide receiver, you can play him on special teams. He's a guy that adds a lot of value to an NFL team when you're talking about a limited amount of roster spots and taking one guy, making him valuable across the entire roster. Will Blackman's going to have himself a chance to play for a long, long time in the NFL.
2nd down and 5. Fake the handoff, play action, rolling right. Ryan dumps it off as his fullback. No, actually gets it out to Kevin Challenger, his first catch of this game, and he gets inside the 20 to the 15.
Boy, he picked up a heck of a block down the field from Chris Miller, the tight end. And you'll see it. It'll come right into your screen. That's the big fella right there working, Chris Miller. He'll release down the field. And here comes the block right there. Get your head around. Keep that head on a swivel. You're in the middle of the field. Guys will peel back and knock you off. Chris Miller there with one heck of a block.
And in motion is Lester. Inside handoff goes to Whitworth, who gets to about the 13-yard line. Pickup of 2.
Well, this is where Boston College so fundamentally sound. They get down inside the red zone. They seem to always come away with points. Don't turn the football over. Matt Ryan has learned it on the job. Young quarterback, take care of the football. If guys aren't open, sail it out of the back of the end zone. That's not the worst play you can make. Then come back, kick a field goal on 4th down. Here's 2nd down, a lot of room to work.
Whitworth, another carry. Breaks a couple of tackles, gets inside the 10. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short. This drive was set up by the 49-yard catch and run by Will Blackman. And Blackman, talk about the day that he's starting to have. He has catches of 49 yards, of 35 yards, and a 52-yarder as well. Will Blackman with 4 catches now, 142 yards. He's fucking for player of the game on it.
Yeah, and he was on the defensive side of the football, and they needed a playmaker at wide receiver, a guy that could really make it happen. They had Chris Miller at tight end, the 2 running backs, finally got the quarterback position settled. They thought Porter was going to be the guy. He had an ankle injury, but he had really stepped up at the wide receiver position.
And Ryan just throwing it away as he was under duress. So a 3rd down and short is a pass incomplete out of bounds, and it'll bring up the field goal team.
And a smart play. You don't want to try to squeeze one in over the middle where it gets tipped up and intercepted, where you take points off the board. This is essentially a gimme. You never know until the kick goes through the uprights, but you're thinking this is a gimme 3 points for our football team. I'm going to go ahead and throw it away and take a shot at this field goal attempt.
Ryan Oliger will come on and attempt a 27-yarder. Made one from 30 yards in the first half. No worries with Oliger. He's 2 for 2, and BC starting to flex some muscle. They're ahead of Boise State 27-0. Today's game is being brought to you in spectacular high definition by Philips. And folks, you don't need that higher resolution to see that Boston College is starting to feel their oats. They're playing fantastic football against the Broncos of Boise State. The score is now 27-0. BC has made very few mistakes offensively or defensively.
They've been faced with a couple of 4th down situations where they really responded, held Boise State, and then they go down and they get points of their own, making it tough to get back in the football game.
Quentin Jones starts from his own 2-yard line, gets out to the 15, tries to reverse his field, and he dives across the 20 to the 22-yard line. That is where the Broncos of Boise State will take over offensively. Remember, folks, here on this blue turf, Boise State is next to invincible. They've won 31 consecutive home games here at Bronco Stadium on the year. They've averaged 47 points per game in their home games. Right now, they got a goose egg.
You know, they say Superman fears kryptonite, makes him weak. I think Boston College has got to stick a kryptonite under that helmet or shoulder pads or something, because they have the answer right now on the blue turf.
A 31-game winning streak here at home is the longest winning streak currently in the country. Deep out, pass is complete to Gerard Rabb. Rab has enough for a first down. Pickup of 14 yards.
Well, they've moved the ball well, and they've gotten themselves into some situations where they've had to go for it on fourth down. Knowing that it's four-down territory, you run plays on third down and maybe get you half of it and make it just a little bit shorter if you're going to go for it on fourth down to get yourself back in this football game. But they're a good throw and catch, and they've done that throughout most of this football game. Just been unfortunate, a couple of turnovers and penalties to go along with it.
Handoff, trying the right side. Pushed out of bounds, about the 39-yard line after a pickup of 4. On that carry, Lee Marks pushed out of bounds.
The big Jeff Burns helped escort him out of bounds, but Lee Marks, nice gain on first down in the running game. They had the big pass play outside to Rab, and then they come back with a run to Lee Marks and shuffling in a lot of personnel. Just Boise State offense.
You saw that factoid that last time they lost at home, Boise State, was in 2001. That was actually Dan Hawkins' first home game as the head coach for the Broncos. This is his last home game as the coach of the Broncos. Trying to get wide, Jeff Carpenter is tripped and felled at the 40-yard line. Ryan Glasper with the stop. Well, on Sunday, January 1st, officially, Dan Hawkins will take those sensational marks that he achieved here at Boise State and head down the road to Boulder, where he'll take over for the Colorado Buffaloes. He replaces Gary Barnett, who won his share of games, but towards the tail end of the season really struggled with Colorado. A couple of waxings, particularly against Texas in the Big 12 championship game, and that necessitated the change at Colorado. Dan Hawkins will take over, and Chris Peterson, who you just saw, will leave his booth as the offensive coordinator and go down on the field and take over that headset for Dan Hawkins.
Yeah, Zabransky there. I mean, he's got the big arm, and sometimes it's tough for a quarterback to throttle that thing back, to learn the touch aspect of playing quarterback. There just needed to flip one in to his running back. Carpenter didn't let him get started. Boy, he throws one too hard, and his running back can't handle it.
DeJuan Tribble makes the fair catch, and it is going to be ball on the 16-yard line for Boston College. For more on Dan Hawkins, let's go down to Heather Cox. Heather, what's going on?
Well, the big question is, how does the Boulder community feel about their new coach, Dan Hawkins? Well, judging by the local newspapers, this is a community that is ripe for change and eagerly awaiting Hawks' arrival. Headlines like Head Buffalo, coach already a winner off the field, and Hawkins fit to be a Buff have been plastered across the papers all week. And this is a town already enamored with its new head coach. The Buff faithful are very anxious for the turnaround and changes promised by Coach Hawkins already.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're getting a football coach who will leave it all on the field. He will coach to win ball games, and it will exhaust every resource to win.
Andre Callender, the deep back for Boston College, and they're going to start on the ground. They hand it off to him. He picks up a couple. Well, Andre, your thoughts on Dan Hawkins still here at Boise State? Should he still be coaching this game?
Well, I think so. And when I talked to him about that very thing, he said, look, I always preach to my players to finish plays, finish off-season workouts, finish, in class through the semester. And what would I look like in their eyes if I don't finish this season as their head coach before moving on to Colorado? And I have to agree with him. I mean, I think he has earned the right to coach this football game before moving on. It's a transition period, certainly, but he has earned the right to stand on the sideline and be the head coach here today.
On second down, throw, tipped, and incomplete. Will Blackman, the intended receiver, has it glance off of his fingertips. Heather, do you have more?
I do indeed. I talked to Coach Hawkins before the game about his emotions and this being the final game. He said, I talked to the team last night, especially the seniors. I told stories about each senior and said, this is a continuum. I will be in your lives forever. I hope that you're in my life forever. And then I asked him about watching Colorado play in the bowl game yesterday against Clemson, and he said, yeah, in fact, I walked into the locker room, the entire team was watching it, and they all yelled, hey, Hawk, they need you bad. We understand why you're going. Go help these Buffs out. So this is a very understanding Boise State squad.
Third down and 8. Ryan wants to throw, and he wants a bunch. Throws deep. Had his man, but a little bit too far. Looking for Tony Gonzalez. And that'll bring up a fourth down in the punting unit.
Yeah, a lot of bumping going on. Maybe, Tony Gonzalez thinking he's going to draw a flag there, but no call by the official. And Boise State stepping up. here in the second half of this football game so far.
So Matt Ryan and the BC offense heads to the sidelines. And looks like Boise State will take over the football.
Yeah, they've been known. They can score fast. I mean, this is an offense that gives them the ability in the scheme to put points on the board at a rapid pace. So it is long from being over in this football game.
Quentin Jones fields at the 35. And Jones might. Oh, man, he was thumped down. Some aggression. Jolan Dunbar with the stick. That was an angry hit right there.
Subbing in at the will side linebacker for Brian Toll. He's played with a lot of emotion.
Well, tonight, ESPN's Bowl doubleheader continues when the Michigan Wolverines take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers in the MasterCard Alamo Bowl. That's at 8 Eastern Time. The MasterCard Alamo Bowl is part of Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN. Combine these two schools. Talk about tradition and success. Combined 1,640 victories. It's impressive. There's some championships involved in those victories as well. Zabransky wants a bunch, has a man. It's complete. Touchdown, Dryzen James.
Well, we just talked about Boise State and their ability to strike fast within the scheme of what they do offensively. And right there, they waste no time putting the ball in the air. Zabransky right on time to James Drisson, and it's just a flat-out post route. Going to lead the receiver back to the middle of the field. Play action pass, holds the linebackers, allows for Zabransky to get the ball over the top into his receiver, James Drisson's hands, and boy, right back at you comes Boise State.
Zabransky, 53 yards to Dryson James. Before that play, the longest play they had the entire game was 25 yards, but they double that and then some and put 7 on the board.
And they get the speed receiver, Dryson James, outside, matched up on the corner, and he's just going to flat out run and get past and behind the secondary, and it's because of the play action pass. Right here, just a nice post route to the top. You'll see the play action pass here by the quarterback, Zabransky, and then it's over the top. Holding the safety, you see the little hitch with the shoulders, holding the safety inside, allowing for the throw over the top to Dryson James.
So a little bit of a pulse for the Broncos now.
Well, you see him step in. He knew he'd let a good pass go. Sometimes you just feel it as a quarterback. You know, all I got to do is just let him run under it. Well thrown football.
Zabransky with 116 of his 195 yards coming in this quarter alone. He now has 18 touchdown passes on the year. For Dryson James, that's just his second score, but it comes at an opportune time.
Well, they really needed that. That's the shot in the arm that may turn this football game around. 1:24 still left in the third quarter, an entire quarter to go. And that brings me back to one thing, that field goal, the last fourth down attempt that Hawk went for. Thought maybe he should have kicked the field goal there. They were going to need, that point it's 24 love, you're going to need a field goal to get back in it anyway. They were at point blank range. Go ahead, kick the field goal and come away with some points on that possession.
Well, they went for it instead, and they came up short on fourth down to give the ball back over to BC. Little squib kick, and Dewan Tribble just has to jump on the football at the 15-yard line. Taking a look at our stat track, and rushing game has belonged to Boston College. Passing yards, well, it was being won handily by Boston College, but after that 53-yard catch and run, BC sneaking back into it, and now total yards pretty even. But a big difference, how about fourth down conversions?
Yeah, 0 for 3, 100% for Boston College when they had to go for it on fourth down. I'll tell you the story in this football game, the early turnovers by Boise State resulting in points for Boston College. And now you're fighting an uphill battle, but not one that they're ready to surrender quite yet here in Boise.
Maybe the fans starting to believe here at Bronco Stadium. Ryan using those good wheels, gets out, close to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Well, you don't want to just label him as a good game manager because, you know, people talk about that all the time. I think it kind of handcuffs a quarterback. I think he is just a good football player. Matt Ryan and his days are going to get better as he grows and gets a little bit older. Each and every snap that he takes, each and every defense that he gets a chance to see. He's going to be a quarterback we'll talk about at Boston College for quite some time. 2 years left, just a sophomore, but he makes good, sound decisions.
On 2nd and 1, they flip it out to Blackman. That's his 5th catch of the game. Showing some power for a little fella. Buries the head and gets across the first down line and picks up an extra set of downs for the Eagles.
He's not too small, 6'1", 200-pound receiver. And boy, he is just a flash of lightning when he gets the football in his hands in the open field. You can forget about it. The first guy that shows up can forget about bringing down Will Blackman. He's going to make him miss. He gets the ball. You better show up in numbers.
Handoff, trying the right side as Whitworth reverses his field and nowhere to go. That strong middle side of the Broncos defense wraps him up and brings him down close to the line of scrimmage.
Alex Guerrero once again, quarterback comparison here. See Zabransky, not a bad afternoon, 15 of 25. He had the early interception on, I think it was the first or second drive in this ball game, but Matt Ryan playing a solid football game, 3 touchdown passes, and 2 of those I think came as a result of turnovers from Boise State. So I'll tell you, tough task for Boise to get back in this one, but a lot of time left in this ball game.
Ryan throws late across the middle. Chris Miller can't make the catch. Incomplete. Marty Tadman on the coverage.
Yeah, Marty Tadman's made a couple of good plays in the middle of the field. They blitzed and he knocked one away from Will Blackman, and then there, showing up again in the middle of the formation, Marty Tadman. That's what you do. You got to regulate from the middle of the field. If you're the free safety of the football team, he is a fierce hitter when you cross the middle of the field. He'll lay his helmet and shoulder pads on you.
Tom O'Brien's team.
A big down here for Boise State. Want to get off the field. You get them in 3rd and long. You definitely want to get yourself off the field. Give that offense a chance to strike again.
Ryan under pressure, throws late, intercepted, fumbled on the field, and the Broncos have the football.
Now they're going to say it's an interception. He put the football away, took a couple of steps with it, and then the ball comes out. So you're going to see it right in the middle of the formation. Now they're saying no.
No, it is. It's a Boise State football. Marty Tadman had the interception. The ball was knocked loose, and the Broncos recover.
And you see Matt Ryan right here trying to force one in the middle, and Tadman right there. Marty Tadman, he's got the football. This one may get reviewed because he's trying to bring it in before it's knocked away. But right there, breaking on the football, trying to put it away. This one they may review this one. Boise State might want to get to the line of scrimmage and snap the football.
And it's going to be Boise State football. It was looked at, but they decided that there wasn't a wrong call on the field. And a big play on first down. Vinny Peretta has the catch inside the 10, and a late flag flies.
Maybe another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and this is not what you see from a Tom O'Brien football team. Very much the disciplinarian as the head coach of Boston College. We'll get the official word here.
Very unlike a Tom O'Brien coach team. Ryan Glasper called for unsportsmanlike conduct. That's the 3rd such call on BC. The 4th quarter is right around the bend. There may be life just yet for Boise State. The Broncos, they just scored a touchdown. They're looking for another one, and they just caught a break right here.
Yeah, Marty Tadman with this interception, but I'm thinking it's just an incomplete pass. Right there, that football's not put away. It comes out. I think it's an incomplete pass. Boston College should have been punting there in that under those circumstances.
But it was close.
Right, it was ruled on the
video
field.
Evidence to overturn it. I'm not totally sure that was all there. It was close.
From that angle, it looked like an incomplete pass. Heck of a play.
Ian Johnson in the game at tailback. Ball on the 5-yard line. Zabransky has a man wide open, and he can't find him. Over the head of Rab.
All right, I tell you, and keep in mind, he's throwing a wet football, and it's an easy pass. Sometimes they pop wide open for you as a quarterback, and the ones that pop wide open are the difficult ones to complete. Right here, shuttling down, just throttling down, you see him right there. Wide open, nobody there, kind of giving the look as if you're going to block. And then throttling down, getting in the back of the end zone, and all you got to do is give him a catchable football. Just lob it. Ball looks dry right there, though, doesn't it?
Antoine Carter hit hard at the 2-yard line and thrown to the ground. Ray Henderson.
Yeah, their short yard specialist is Antoine Carter. And they brought him in earlier in this football game to try to establish a more physical presence. And Boston College really not having it. You don't get very many looks down here inside the 5-yard line. We talked about that earlier. Dan Hawkins said, hey, there's just not a whole lot of film on Boston College down inside the goal line situations.
Zabransky, little option, fakes and scores the touchdown. And don't look now, but Boise State right back in this game. Marty Tadman, a big reason why he got the football back for the Broncos.
Dewan Tribble was the guy that went for the fake, and good job of showing the football to the running back and to the defensive back. Right here, you're going to see Zabransky. The end man on the line of scrimmage is his option key. Once he takes the pitch man, it's Zabransky into the end zone, untouched.
2 touchdowns in a little over 2 minutes for the Broncos, and pending this extra point, they're within 2 touchdowns. Extra point is good, and the Broncos down by just 13 points. Folks, we have a game with 14 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Well, coming up after our game is the MasterCard Alamo Bowl. For a preview, let's go to Mike Tirico. Mike. Thanks, Mike. And
that should be a good football game.
You just mentioned Nebraska, and you mentioned Michigan. You get excited.
Oh, yeah. You start thinking about college football, and for so many years, all the success that both those programs have had over the years, and getting together in a bowl game down in San Antonio makes for a good recipe for a good football game.
Boise State with new life. Down by just 13. They kick it away, and on one bounce, Dewan Tribble fumbles the football, muffs it, and picks it up at the 13-yard line. Tom O'Brien's team continues to struggle here in the 4th quarter.
Well, you see right here, the end man on the line of scrimmage becomes the option key for Zabransky. Right there, freeze it. Once he takes the pitch man outside, then you can walk into the end zone. Right here, you see the end man right here. You're gonna fake it. Actually, this is the play before when he had him wide open into the end zone and let one get away. High throw, up and out of bounds. But Boise State back in this game.
And the fans back into this game. This is the 4th consecutive drive where the Eagles have started inside their own 20. Ryan sneaks it out, pass is complete. His fullback, Mark Palmer, with the catch and goes out of bounds.
Well, he made a mistake a drive ago by throwing the interception that allowed for the Boise State touchdown. But they're taking care of the football, and all it takes sometimes is one of those to learn. You're a young quarterback, smart, good with the football, making sound decisions. When you're trying something, you're trying to will one in there for a first down, and you throw a bad pass, you won't go back. You don't revisit that. I don't look for Matt Ryan to throw into coverage again in this football game.
Andre Callender tries the middle, and he is brought down. Austin Smith comes up from his rover spot and brings him down. Andre, I'm not sure that this game isn't exactly what Tom O'Brien wanted. He wanted a lead, fourth quarter, and his big boys wearing down Boise State.
And that's his recipe for winning football games, is that he'll let that big offensive line just kind of lean on you. They're overmatched just about everybody they play late in the football games. If they have a lead, they're going to go to the run. Some nice sound passes that they take care of the football, but the running game is what brings them home at Boston College.
Out of the shotgun. Ryan flips it out. Callender has it, and Callender with a first down. Slipped a tackle, gets out to the 30, and Tom O'Brien's bunch will be able to bleed some more clock.
Well, they only rushed 2 defensive linemen here and had about 9 guys in coverage. So you look at it, it's a very short field to go for the first down, but you see the average line for Boston College, 6'6", 314. We just talked about that. Tallest and heaviest in the ACC, probably in most conferences across the country. They're going to be the tallest and the heaviest, but that surprised me. That defensive call by Boise State, just rushing 2 guys. They needed, what, third down, and it was third and medium, third and 4, and you could basically just hand it off, run up the middle of the formation with only 2 defensive linemen in the game.
Callender again breaks tackles, and again with good yards. Picks up 9 yards on first down, getting close to the 40-yard line before Corey Hall makes the stop.
Well, you got a great block from Patrick Ross, the center, who is pulling around on the outside. They go down with the guard back inside and pull the center around, and he's just chopping down players on the edge of the defense, which allowed Callender to turn the corner and pick up about 9 yards.
Second down and 1. They stay on the ground behind those big fellas, and they get another first down. Andre, they're not just big, they're not just strong, but they are experienced along that offensive line for Boston College. Take a look at those numbers. Everyone at least a 2-year starter. Patrick Ross and Trueblood, they've started for 3 consecutive seasons.
Yeah, a lot of experience, and that's why they can rely on those big guys late in football games. They know that they're not going to make mistakes. You don't get a whole lot of holding penalties and things of that sort that kill drives for them late in ball games. They want the game in their hands at the end of the game. Get them started, get them in sync with one another, like fingers in a glove, the offensive line.
Again on the ground, again with Callender. He is the bruiser of their 2 backs that they alternate. We also see L.B. Whitworth, who's more of their outside slasher type of guy.
And you see late in the game, you talk about the success offensively, that they want to, unleash their physical presence on you. Well, they bring in the guy, the big pounder, and Andre Callender, the tailback there, more of a pounding type runner, inside type runner. Whitworth, that you just mentioned, he's an edge type guy. Quickness and speed on the edge, pounding you inside is the youngster with Andre Callender.
Second and 7. Let's see if they stay on the ground. They do. Callender likes that left side. Dives forward, gets out to about the 48-yard line. It's going to bring up a third down and short.
Well, you see, even late in the ball game, they protect the passer well. Last year, they gave up 23 sacks on the year. That's a low number. But then they topped it this year with just 13 sacks on the season, only 1 given up today. So they not only can they run block well, they take care with a guy pulling the trigger behind the center.
Callender has touched the ball on each of the last 6 plays for Boston College. Let's see if Matt Ryan looks for him here. Roll out right side. Ryan, no one home. He's dropped for a loss.
Well,
good defensive play. Chris Barrios with the stop and the sack. Just the second sack allowed by Boston College on the day.
We just talked about the great protection that they provide, but you see here, great defensively in terms of pass coverage. They finally go man-to-man. You see guys locked up right here. Nowhere to throw the football, but locked up man-to-man all across the field. Boise State, maybe a different look that Matt Ryan wasn't expecting on that down and distance. Boise State throwing him a little curveball. They're going to get the football back here with a lot of time.
Quentin Jones awaiting this Johnny Ayers punt.
Good punt.
Drives Jones inside the 10, almost falls down at the 5, and a disastrous decision for Quentin Jones and Boise State. They're going to be up against their own goalposts when we come back. Jared Zabransky has his work cut out for him, 95 yards away from pay dirt when we come back. We shall see. Reese, some brave souls here at Bronco Stadium, seeing if their Boise State Broncos can brave a little bit of a comeback. Jared Zabransky barking out his thunderous command in there, making sure that everyone's on the same page. They have a long way to go if they want to get a touchdown on this drive. They are pinned back inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, a lot of self-inflicted wounds. This Boise State football team there. I thought Quentin Jones should have let that ball go into the end zone. It had much better field position at the 20-yard line, but here, long field to go to get some points on the board.
The ball is on the 7-yard line. Zabransky may have gotten B.J. Raji to move in the middle of the line. They run on first down and a pickup of a couple for Carpenter. But it looked like there was movement up front for Boston College.
Yeah, it looked like one of the defensive linemen, B.J. Raji. And it was the guy that jumps offside, so get yourself a little wiggle room down here.
We'll pick up an easy 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 5 on the 12-yard line.
See if you follow me, Collins. You got first down. You just got a free 5 yards. What would you do to here?
If I was Andre Ware, I would throw deep.
That's right. Take a shot.
Let's see if they think along the same wavelength. Little controlled pass. It's caught, and out of bounds goes Legadou Nene. Let's go down on the field, and Heather Cox. Heather.
Well, guys, in case you missed it at halftime, the story of Matthias Kiwanuka bears telling. His grandfather, Benedicto, was the first prime minister of Uganda and was assassinated by Idi Amin's regime. Now, Kiwanuka honors his grandfather with that tattoo of the Ugandan presidential seal on his back and shows loyalty with the Ugandan flag that hangs in his room. Now, he's likely a first-round draft pick, and instead of thinking about big money, he's thinking about how he can help with the AIDS epidemic and hunger in his East African country. And I talked to him yesterday, and he said, my grandfather taught me to stand up for what you believe in. Whatever you do, leave a positive mark on this world. And he said, I'm inspired by the sacrifice he gave. I'd like to think in the same position, I'd make those same choices, guys.
Heather, thank you so much. Zabransky is brought down in the backfield. Sack by Alvin Washington.
A lot of pressure there. Boston College been showing a lot of zone. Finally, they bring the linebackers there, and they get to Zabransky to kind of disrupt things. You're going to see it right here. A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage. You see the blitzers coming from the edges, linebackers, corners from the short side of the field. Jasmine Williams comes as well, and they finally get there, but just not allowing for a lot of time there. I tell you, I have been impressed with Matthias Kiwanuka as much as any college football player that I've ever come in contact with. He's a very mild-mannered guy. He is a guy that will be drafted very high and will play well on Sundays.
Zabransky throws it out. It is complete to Nene. Goes out of bounds at about the 24-yard line.
He just has that quiet confidence about him. I mean, he's not a big rah-rah guy. You see him high-five his teammates, but they feed from him. I mean, when he plays, he's not so much a vocal leader. I mean, when he needs to pick the team up, he can do it in that manner, but he'd rather show you through his play and have you follow him in that manner.
He's going to be impressive at the combine.
Oh, yes.
But he's going to be really impressive personal interviews. He's the type of guy. He just jumps.
That's exactly where he'll sell himself.
3rd down and 11. Huge play for the Broncos. Zabransky makes one tackler miss. Zabransky makes 2 miss. Throws deep. Nobody home. Looking for Vinny Peretta. Closely guarded. Incomplete. Good coverage played deep downfield by Jamie Silva. Matthias Kiwanuka was in the grill of Jared Zabransky.
Yeah, and he got chopped down by the big offensive lineman, Darren College, on the initially. You'll see it here. College playing some pretty good football of his own. Right there, inviting him, then chops him down. But right there, getting up, fighting to the quarterback. He misses there. Watch him. He's not done yet. He comes back into the screen later on to get right around the waist of Zabransky. But you talk about playing to every whistle. Matthias Kiwanuka plays every play as if it's his last.
Stringer's punt, a low line drive. DeJuan Tribble on the return, and Tribble spins out to about the 49-yard line, but there is a flag at about the 40-yard line.
Josh Bean with a good special teams play. You get the word here, it's usually on the receiving team, some block in the back or a hold of some sort. We'll get the official word here. Block in the back.
10 yards from the spot of the foul, so Tom O'Brien's team will march backward, but they will have the ball and an opportunity to bleed some clock. Empty, and with good reason. The people are here. They're watching the MPC Computers Bowl for the 9th consecutive year here at Bronco Stadium, and right now the locals not doing so good. Down by 13 points. Boston College trying to salt away a little bit more clock. 27-14 is our score. Matt Ryan under center. Hands it off. LV Whitworth back in the game, picks up a couple of yards on first down.
Well, yesterday, I decided to come out of retirement, throw a couple of passes to my good friend Eric Collins here, and then all of a sudden, that's what happened. I popped a finger on him. I didn't know, man. I mean, I apologize. I had to get some love. Oh, my goodness. You see him here. Actually, he got soft on me right there. He had to have his splint. Had it all wrapped up, man. I apologize. This is the result right here. I got to go back into retirement. I didn't know I could still throw it like that.
I learned my lesson, folks. Never play catch with a Heisman Trophy Award winner. You throw an uncatchable ball, man. It's hard to catch. Oh, man.
Oh, we had some fun with that one. Oh, my goodness.
Whitworth, another carry. Yeah, definitely want to say thank you. There was tremendous performance by the training staff. Gary Trainer, the head trainer for Boise State, and his lead henchman, Brandon Voigt, he was fantastic, putting a little brace on for me. It was a hairy situation. Let's go down in the field. Heather, what's going on?
Well, Eric, since one of my job responsibilities and descriptions is to report on injuries, I thought I'd fill everybody in with a little bit more detail. The rumor is you have a ruptured extensor digitorum superficialis. In other words, you have a ruptured tendon. The rumor is also that you'll be wearing a splint for 6 weeks. I don't know if your career holding your microphone in your right hand is in jeopardy or not. We wish you a speedy recovery.
He tried to hide that pinky behind his microphone today in our open, but it was clearly visible.
My days of playing catch with Andre Ware are long gone.
My man he's working wounded today, so I got to give it up to him. He sucked it up, and right there, Alex Guerrero trying to get himself, walk off the field, get himself back in this ball game. He has played one heck of a football game defensively for Boise State.
Big play. 3rd down and 4. Matt Ryan trying to keep his Eagles on the field. 4 receivers in the game, and before the snap, a whistle. And timeout is called by Boise State. That is their second. They still have 2 timeouts remaining. Well, with this break in the action, let's go back to the MasterCard Alamo Bowl where Mike Tirico is standing by. Mike, what's going on?
Callahan got the ship pointed in the right direction at Nebraska. Now they had to make some changes, had to get some different personnel in, and now you're starting to see the benefits of that from that program.
Big play here after the Boise State timeout. 3rd down and 4. Ryan with all kinds of time. Ryan trying to run for it. Has the first down and more. Loses the football late, but the Eagles pounce on it. Pickup of 12 yards, and the clock continues to roll.
And that's the spark they looked for right there. Plays like this when they inserted Matt Ryan into this lineup. Nobody open, just trying to buy in time. Then all of a sudden he sees that there's a hole and I can pick up the first down with my legs. Right there, get the first down, get myself down, and get out of here with a victory. Right there, smart play on the part of Matt Ryan.
With those big offensive linemen in front of Ryan, and sending just 3 rushers.
Can't get there, can't get to him. Zone coverage, yeah, you're going to have everybody covered up. But in short situations like that, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4, well, you better have somebody coming after the quarterback.
Whitworth crosses the 50-yard line, a pickup of 4 yards on first down. This is the 9th running of the MPC Computers Bowl here in Boise, Idaho, the capital city of Idaho. Game being played at Bronco Stadium. It's the 19th-ranked Boston College Eagles coming out of the ACC with an 8-3 record, taking on Boise State. Boston College, they have won 5 consecutive bowl games. That's the longest streak in the country. Dan Hawkins working that sideline for the final game in his 5 years at Boise State. He is off to Boulder, Colorado, where he will be the new head man with the Colorado Buffaloes, taking over for Gary Barnett.
And he followed Dirk Cutter here as a head coach. He had a pretty big win last night himself at Arizona State, the Insight Bowl against Rutgers. His team played well, and a lot of connections to this Boise State program.
Dan Hawkins, one of his Achilles heels was playing BCS teams. Just 2-6 against teams from BCS conferences in his 5 years at Boise State. Will his style work in the Big 12?
I think so. I think he's going to have better recruits. The program's better. He's going to be able to recruit better there. The personnel in which he runs this system will be better. I think he's going to have – Colorado is set for a big, big turnaround under that man there. I mean, he is an excellent motivator, knows how to get the best out of each and every one of his players.
3rd down and 7. Matt Ryan on the move, lofts one up, has a man. Blackman tries to make the one-handed catch, but can't haul it in. It is incomplete, and BC will have to punt it away.
Well, keep in mind the quick strike ability of this Boise State football team, and the touchdown pass from Zabransky to Dryzen James. But here, look at this play. Blackman, just a playmaker, trying to make a play. He's wrapped up. You see their left arm, or his right arm, the defensive back's left arm, get tangled up, and he's trying to bring that baby in with one hand. Excellent concentration on the part of Will Blackman. Just ran out of room along the sideline.
Because of the incompletion, the clock stopped temporarily.
Now, Quentin Jones, did he learn his lesson from the last time? Fielding punts inside the 10-yard line.
No, he didn't. Catches it at the 8 and breaks out of a couple of tackles. And this is why he fields those dangerous punts. Quentin Jones down the sideline, reverses field. He's got a chance. Quentin Jones, touchdown, Boise State, 92 yards on the return.
And that's why he's a second-team All-American in the punt return game right there. I'm thinking you don't feel that baby inside the 10-yard line, but I forgot who he plays for. He plays for Dan Hawkins, who exhausts everything that he has in his bag of tricks right here. Probably told him, look, try to make something happen. Field it wherever you can get it and give us a play right there. Breaking tackles, and then you see the 4.340 speed right here, cutting back, and nobody on the field is going to catch Quentin Jones.
Dan Hawkins' philosophy, take a chance. Quentin Jones did, and it pays off for 7. And the Broncos of Boise State within 6. That is now 21 unanswered points in the last 12.5 minutes for the Broncos of Boise State. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got a game. Yeah, Mike, you got it right when you said we got a great finish right now building, because things are getting exciting.
I tell you, this crowd has come alive. This Boise State sideline is up. Everybody's on their feet and cheering the team or the unit that's on the field on. And boy, we're set for a heck of a finish.
Coming on the return, Juwan Tribble gets across the 25-yard line to the 26, and you can just see the confidence surging from Dan Hawkins' crew.
I'm wondering, though, the drive, 4th down, when they're down close and had the opportunity to kick the field goal to make this, would have been now a 3-point football game, only needing a field goal. Now you need a touchdown to win the football game. Is he questioning himself?
I don't think
for a 4th down. I don't know.
I think he's the type of guy that looks in the rear.
You know what? I think he should have kicked the field goal at that point in time. You needed some momentum. You're going to have a field goal anyway in this football game. But now, boy, this makes for some good stuff. Good finish here.
That was early in the 3rd quarter when they had yet to score a point. Andre Callender has the football, and Callender, a good strong run, picks up 4 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, and Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator for Boston College, still going to rely on that big offensive line to try to get some push late in this football game. And you know what? Those guys up front, for Boise State. They've hung in there. They fought hard. Alex Guerrero has played one heck of a football game. We saw him limp off. He's right back on the field now. And I tell you what, it would take a truck with a bunch of chains to get him out of there to pull him off this football field. He is into it. The crowd is into it, trying to get his teammates to help him out and play at his level.
BC just barely gets the playoff, and confusion in the backfield results in disaster. Alex Guerrero blows up that play, bringing down Andre Callender for a loss of 1.
Well, it's like we were in his helmet, and he hurt us because all of a sudden he came off, and it looked like a mix-up in the backfield right there, trying to get the crowd hyped, get them into this football game. They hadn't had a whole lot to cheer about until right now, about 3 minutes left in this football game.
Boise State calls timeout. They have 1 remaining. Still tons of time in this game.
Well, you talk about 2 timeouts. The clock's going to stop with each first down. A lot of time left.
Tom O'Brien and his BC Eagles. They have won 5 consecutive bowl games, but that streak is in jeopardy right now because Boise State, they have momentum on their side, playing in front of a friendly home crowd. Down by just 6, but they need a stop here on 3rd down. It is 3rd down and 7. Boston College, they've struggled on 3rd down in the second half. They've made just 2 of 8 3rd down conversions. What's the play call here, Andre? Is everything available, or will they run to keep the clock running?
I think everything is available because basically you have a lead and you want to protect it, but you got to be smart with the football and you need to convert on 3rd down. So you can't close the playbook down, try to run for it, punt and play defense. They've proven that they can score and score fast.
Wayward snap! Ryan sacked! Colt Brooks got loose and jumps on Ryan, and that play was trouble from the get-go.
Yeah, it's as if we've watched 2 totally different football teams for Boston College in the first half of this game and the second half. They've been the ones that have made the mistakes and the penalties that have cost them opportunities in this football game. Bad snap, maybe Matt Ryan looked away a little bit, maybe getting the eyes down the field a little quick and misjudged the snap. But right now, Boise State is going to have excellent field position in on this drive.
Loss of 16 yards, and the punt team has to come on. Last time they punted, Quentin Jones took it back 92 yards.
And I'm going to hammer my point. You kick that field goal because now you've got a short field. You can tie this football game up with just a field goal had Hawk kicked it early in the 3rd quarter.
Dan Hawkins and Boise State, they do not look back. I can assure you of that, my friend. They are perfectly content to be down by 6 and getting this football coming up with the 2-minute mark. Clock running. Ayers almost slips down. Low kick, just getting it out of there, and everyone's going to stay away from the football. Fantastic field position for the Broncos. The Broncos trying to buck the odds. Jared Zabransky trying to make it happen against Matthias Kiwanuka and the BC Eagles here in the final 2 minutes.
And good players usually turn up their games when the team really needs it, and look for this guy to try to assert himself. But you look at the winning streak, the wins in '99 for Boise State when they beat Louisville here in this game, in this bowl game. 2000 back on the blue turf, they beat UTEP. 02 was Iowa State. 13-6, and a golden opportunity to stay undefeated in bowl games.
They're 3-0 in this MPC Computers Bowl. Zabransky under pressure, out to Carpenter. Carpenter, good open field running. Gets out to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 7.
Boy, what a heck of a job and an athletic play by the quarterback, Jared Zabransky, and a good job of running by Carpenter. He actually broke the tackle of Matthias Kiwanuka in order to pick up the yardage he did, 7 yards on that play.
Clock continues to roll. Zabransky loses the football, picks it up, and is smothered by Dunbar.
Boy, Dunbar has just leveled a couple of players for Boise State in this football game. As quickly as they give it, they take it away right there. Eyes down the field, may have misjudged the snap a little bit, and Jolon Dunbar. Boy, he shows up, and when he shows up, he's angry. I mean, he started the season, he's a backup in the middle to Ray Henderson, but he started this football game for Brian Toll on the outside, and now he's back in there. Boy, he's made some plays.
Boise State calls their final timeout. Coming up next, MasterCard Alamo Bowl, Nebraska and Michigan. Coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. Michigan Wolverines ranked 20th in the country, taking on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who have made some strides this season. The game is now underway. We will get you there the moment this game comes to a close. Dan Hawkins, some final thoughts with his offensive players. Remember, this is the last game he'll ever coach with these Broncos.
You remember I asked you about kicking that field goal. I'm thinking, you know, maybe you should go ahead and kick the field goal, but I forget. Dan Hawkins, he doesn't play to tie. He plays to win, and this is 2-down territory for them. And with 1:22 left, 1 timeout left in this ball game, you know, he's thinking, you know, you get some of it here and then pick up the first down to keep this drive going. But they are going to try to get this baby into the end zone.
Boise State without any more timeouts remaining.
Out of timeout.
That is Chris Peterson. He's the offensive coordinator. He will be the head coach come Sunday. Zabransky wants to throw on 3rd down, has a man complete. Ball comes loose. No catch. No catch. Will Blackman in on defense, involved in that defensive play.
Boy, Ryan Glasper, the free safety, basically just put a lick on the receiver there, and he is known. We talked to the coaches, they said, hey, he will just flat out knock you out. And right there, laying it out, and just kind of, Dryzen James separates the receiver from the football. Dryzen James still down after that big hit by Ryan Glasper. Boy, what an opportunity that slips through the fingers of Dryzen James.
James is up and walking off the field.
And watch the lick here. We talk about Kiwanuka, but boy, just as Zabransky lets the ball go, the big fella delivering the blow, and you can't throw a better pass under more pressure than Jared Zabransky, and then stand in there and take that lick. Boy, you want your receivers to reward you with a big catch.
This is the game for Boise State. Zabransky floats it up, has a man, caught inside the 15-yard line. Vinny Peretta.
Boy, I tell you, the poise on the part of Jared Zabransky, and then getting the receiver out of bounds. Vinny Peretta, you see it here, just buying some time, moving his feet, and this is as well as you could throw a football. Over the defensive back's outstretched arms, over his head, and then inbounds to your receiver, Vinny Peretta, and allow him to get out of bounds, saving some clock, 1:10. You know you don't have any timeouts left. Boy, this suspense is building here in Boise.
On 4th and 9, they pick up 32 yards.
Boy, Colorado, you are getting yourself one heck of a football coach in Dan Hawkins.
Zabransky throws, almost intercepted. Ray Henderson had it and then dropped it.
Well, you don't want to gamble. When you're trying to squeeze it in, you better squeeze it, and it better be outside. When you try to squeeze it over the middle, down inside the red zone, you see how things collapse inside so fast. Balls are tipped. Linebackers are hidden sometimes because the area is so condensed that as a quarterback, you don't see them, and all of a sudden you let it come off your fingers, and there they are, and you're like, I never saw it. You're just trying to explain it in the film room the next day.
Second down at 10. To the corner of the end zone. There's some pushing and shoving, and a flag comes down. Looking for Gerard Rabb. And Tom O'Brien worried that this one may go against his Eagles.
I think it's going to, and it'll be half the distance down here, and it's going to give them a fresh set of downs to go along with some penalty yardage. And Boise State inching ever so close to going ahead in this ball game. You see right here, just trying to get a fade route. And Rab, actually, you want to take an outside release so that you can get in the crease behind the corner and the safety. When you release inside, you're basically dead as a receiver.
First down and goal, ball on the 5-yard line. Lee Marks behind Zabransky. Zabransky doesn't see the pressure, and he goes down. Nick Larkin came in and sacks Zabransky, and the clock continues to roll. Yeah, and they get Larkin matched up on Lee Marks, and it's clearly a mismatch having that running back matched up against that big defensive lineman. And Zabransky just spikes the ball with 44 seconds remaining. Are you surprised that they gave up a down? Yeah, I really am. I mean, in that situation, you're not thinking, you know, as an experienced quarterback, you got to know the golden rule inside the 2-minute drill is that you cannot take a sack, especially if you don't have any timeouts. So that way you're not going to burn downs like they just did. Right here, here's the replay. You see the running back, Lee Marks, and he misses. He whiffs on the big defensive lineman, Nick Larkin, which cost him the sack. But, boy, precious down wasted for Boise State. They need to get a touchdown from the 12-yard line. Zabransky throws an interception. Interception made by Ryan Glasper, his second of the game. And it looks like it's going to be the Boston College Eagles winning their 6th consecutive bowl game. Boy, you see the happy feet. I think it was a result of the pressure that he got the play before. B.J. Raji in there applying some pressure, and they're pushing the pile back into the face of Jared Zabransky. And I told you about messing around. When you're throwing over the middle, you better be sure, and it better be somebody wide open, because otherwise bad plays happen more than good ones in the middle of the field down inside the red zone. No timeouts remaining for Boise State. They cannot stop the clock. Victory formation for the Eagles. They're 37 ticks away from picking up their 9th win of the season. And there's our Capital One player of the game, Will Blackman. Played a little bit of defense. We saw him on special teams, and he was electric on offense. Yeah, just fabulous in terms of the receiving yards today. 5 receptions, 144 yards and a touchdown. Just phenomenal when he gets the football in his hands. Well, that's going to do it. BC, they do not need to take another snap. They are going to improve to 9-3 on the year. Tom O'Brien's bunch, they have now won 6 consecutive bowl games. Jared Zabransky and the Boise State Broncos, they fall to 9-4 on the year. Congratulations to the 2005 MPC Computers Bowl champions, the BC Eagles. Heck of a performance. Final score, BC 27, Boise State 21. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For my partner, Andre Ware, for Heather Cox and the rest of our ESPN HD crew, I'm Eric Collins saying so long from Boise, Idaho.